Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of The Boys in the Back. On ice, baby. We are now officially skating like boys to men at Rockefeller Center back in the 90s at Christmas, like Action Bronson said. I am one-third of the Boys in the Back, Connor Burks, joined alongside me. As always, you know him. You love him. You can't live without him. It's Mr. New York, Rick. And then in the back, we got Frankie. Frankie, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Wow, I thought the vibes were
to be
so high,
honest,
man.
no,
I thought we were
like,
really feeling great around here.
Fight Feast, Fuck That's Delicious collab has made my day. So
I have to say, I got the Fuck That's Delicious shirt. I want to believe somewhere out there in faraway lands, Action Bronson's wearing a Fight Feast shirt right now.
Absolutely.
The crossover complete.
He was walking down a street in Williamsburg and he saw it on a rack and he got it.
And he snagged it.
He snagged
Oh,
it.
y'all got the Fight Feast shirt? How much you want for it? Let me make you an offer I can't refuse. Yes, if you were just watching that, thank you so much. We appreciate it greatly. That was an incredible day. Truly a dream experience for us to do that. I feel like we talked it into existence. We spoke it into existence. We truly manifested it. But yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it after the show. It's already on the Ariel Helwani YouTube channel.
If you haven't seen it yet, tell them what they are going to see. Tell them what it is.
Yeah, so Action Bronson joined us. NYC, Fight Feast. We do it for every card. NYC, Madison Square Garden, UFC 322. Could be the best card of the year. It's absolutely stacked from top to bottom. We got to match the energy. So we match it with our white whale, with the white buffalo, with Bam Bam Baklava, Mr. Action Bronson. He joined us, took us to 3 different spots. And it actually was like a Fight Feast, Fuck That's Delicious collab. He was filming Fuck That's Delicious. I think we're going to be in the background of it, just sort of like, yo, what's good? Boys in the back, actually in the background of Fuck That's Delicious.
I might be in the background of one shot like I was on Fight Feast. You are going to be in the video very prominently.
Oh, I mean, we pulled up. I was like, damn, this dude's talking circles around me. Like the energy that Action Bronson carries and just like the way that he carries himself and like all the one-liners that he's saying the whole time, it's hard to keep up with, man. In every room he walks into, like he controls the presence, like he sets the tone for it. So they were like, yeah, Connor, get in there, man, get in there. I'm like, no, come on, man. Like Action can do his thing. He's with the chef. I was like, they're pushing me out there. They're like, you're the guest, man. I was like, nah, chill.
You said it perfectly. He has this very unique and rare thing, and I think that there's other people who have this thing, maybe not quite exactly the way he has it, but he is such a presence. When he goes anywhere, it's like, yo, that's actually like Action Bronson is here, but he's also simultaneously this guy that feels very approachable. Like he feels like he's still one of us. Like the people walking down the street are just like, yo, Action. They don't even want to like really like bother him. They just want to say like, yo, I love you, man, and then move on with their day.
Several people I heard like walk up to him, which like walking around with Action Bronson in New York is literally like you're walking around with the mayor of the city. Yeah. People just came up. Like I heard several people just be like, thanks for all you do.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this guy touches a lot of people's lives. But yeah, he has the aura when he walks in. And so like, he commands the room. It was incredible. 3 different places, got tacos. He chose it specifically for Chepe Mariscal. When he was the curtain jerker, they've now moved him up on the card. They're trying to thwart our plans for the curtain jerker special. But all in all, it was an incredible day. Me, Frankie, Rick, E. Casey Leiden flew in from California. Ariel joined at the 3rd spot. It was an incredible day. Not to get too sentimental, but, thank you for everyone that made it happen. Bronson for doing it. Like, I can't believe how in-depth he went with us. We were like, yo, just join us at one spot for 30 minutes. He's like, nah. I got a whole day planned. You're going to ride along with us. We were with him from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
It was an entire day spent with Action Bronson. It was an incredible day, though. Thank you to E. Casey Leiden for editing it. Absolutely killed it. Like, from the first footage I saw, I was like, man, how's this going to turn out? To the final product, night and day. E. Casey Leiden is a warrior when it comes to editing things. He is incredible, man. The stuff that he can do is simply fantastic. Thanks to Frank for audio. That's the worst part, is Mysterious Frank is actually mysterious. He was walking around with the headphones and the boom mic. He had the pack on his side. He looked like a real audio guy out there.
Anything to say to that, Frank?
No, I'm not going to acknowledge that.
Frank did his job. Everybody there made it special. Can't thank Action and his team enough. Like,
shout out to Chris.
Yeah. What a day that we spent together. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Fight Feast took a level up. You know, Ariel's been billing it as Fight Feast the movie.
Has he said
felt
that? I haven't heard him say that.
He said that once or twice. He said that once or twice. Fight Feast took a level up. Thank you guys so much, and hope you enjoy. And yes, Uncrowned Films does it again. Casey is in the lab working on some stuff. So
always shout out to Chris on Action's team. Shout out to Bernardo on Action's team. Shout out to Oven for the thumb. Thank you to everyone that helped with that. It was truly a dream to do that.
Action Bronson is a living legend.
Living legend. I will always have that video saved on some computer, some hard drive, so I can pull it up one day and be like, yeah, you know, I used to do this, you know.
They're like, Grandpa's washed. It's like, no, actually,
Unc's chopped.
there was a time.
Not that chopped. And you know, like, we are enjoying this. This is incredible. This is the pinnacle. I don't think we'll ever top it. But you know, June of 2024, I'm riding in my car. I get a DM from Action Bronson. This is summer of last year. I was like, oh, I wonder what Action said. Check it. All it says is FFXFTD. Said nothing else. I responded. I was like, we got to make it happen. He never said anything back. And we've just kind of been sitting on this, like, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We finally make it happen a year and a half later. 30 episodes into the series, we make it happen. So now we're manifesting something new.
Oh,
you know, people started getting the hype. You know, they get in the comments. They're like, oh, this is sick. This is sick. Some names around the MMA space.
Oh, who do we got?
Coach Polino Cruz jumping in the comments. Fire emojis. I said training and eating with Polino Cruz. Maybe a guest appearance from the champ. Maybe get a little Shama on the side.
Over
Polino Cruz.
Alex.
You know, the great Ash Bell Castro. You know, who works with Engage. Yeah, the boys. Big Bell Castro and Volk up next.
Oh, cooking with Volk.
Cooking with Fight Feast.
Ooh.
We're just putting it out there. We manifested the Bronson. Now we're trying to manifest, you know, things that will match Bronson. I was going to say bigger and better, but that's impossible to get bigger and better than Action Bronson.
No,
so
can't do it.
We are very hyped on that. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out after this. Very, very proud of how it came out. Thank you again to everyone who helped out with it. All right, let's go to some news and notes from around the world of MMA. Speaking of Alex Pereira, we just talked about Polino Cruz. Alex Pereira doing a little chirping with Khamzat Chimaev. He released this video talking about Khamzat.
Pegando aí.
Ah, Chimaev.
Ah, porra, velho. Porra, fala de Chimaev, velho. Pô, esse cara, pô, fala de lutar comigo. Pô, tem que chegar, entendeu? Pô, não tô... Tá longe, velho. Tá longe. Mas
they're just talking about Chimaev.
Fazer desafio
and then,
aí, lutar na área dele,
Alex
se
is
ele
basically
quiser.
saying he'd come to his arena.
Área, então. Pô,
He looks directly at camera and says, let's fight in grappling. And another thing, we can fight in the UFC too. UFC is doing BJJ. Let's do the UFC BJJ. Let's make that happen.
Eu nem sei quanto que eu vou ganhar, mas é uma grana boa, né?
He said, I don't know much to make, but it's good money though.
Grana boa. E essa grana vai ser doada 100%
Oh, and he wants to
pra caridade.
donate the purses to charity if Khamzat Chimaev accepts the
Eu falei
challenge.
que ia postar na casa no MMA, mas essa praga é doida, quer lutar no grappling. Porra, vambora.
Glover Teixeira said,
He'd bet the house on
no,
Alex Pereira.
he would have bet his house in MMA, but this
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
nuts and wants
Yeah.
to do BJJ.
So yeah, Alex Pereira calling out Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev responded on an Instagram comment, essentially saying, "Let's do it, easy money," which, unfortunately,
Probably would be.
yeah, as a guy that I'm a big fan of Alex Pereira. Love Alex Pereira. If we're just doing BJJ,
My
be
level,
tough.
my level of interest in Alex versus Khamzat and BJJ is like 5.
your interest in Khamzat Chimaev going up to 205 to challenge for the belt.
11.
Yeah.
MMA, sign me up. Like, inject that directly into my veins. I might want to see that more than I might want to see John Jones versus Alex Pereira, even though I admit John Jones versus Alex is a bigger fight. The BJJ one is interesting enough, and I mean, certainly for UFC BJJ, that would be the greatest thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing these like very, very BJJ centric fights. The MMA crossover fans that you would get watching Alex Pereira versus Khamzat Chimaev in grappling would be insane for them. Those 9 million views next time might actually be legitimate as opposed to the most recent one.
Darth Rigatone pushed down to the co-main spot.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
That'd be dirty work, man.
He's a free agent. Is he re-signed?
Oh yeah.
don't know.
Point. Good point.
Maybe,
We're all waiting.
Maybe Alex Pereira is the new signing to UFC BJJ to carry the flag. I would watch it, but I do imagine that Khamzat would dummy him pretty easily in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to his world.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like if Khamzat was wanting to do a kickboxing match with Alex Pereira, you'd favor Alex Pereira to probably
Yeah,
get
no
that
shit.
one. Probably favor Alex Pereira to get that one done there. So interesting.
It's
see.
fun. I like the idea of Alex just being like open to these challenges. Like I like the idea of him just being out there for that.
A little bit more news. Polymarket has become the official exclusive prediction market of the UFC, and TKO announces a multi-year partnership with the two brands. If you're not familiar with this, Polymarket, Kalshi are these prediction markets. I believe you can do it on Robinhood as well, where they essentially set lines on, you know, is President Trump gonna build the ballroom by the end of 2025? You know, I think for UFC, I was looking at some of them. They obviously have the fights that you can select a side on, and if it will go the distance or not. But then they have like, will Donald Trump show up at UFC 322? Things like that. It's very like predictive everyday things. Here's a couple of the guidelines. Polymarket will become the official prediction market partner of UFC and Zuffa Boxing. Polymarket will power fan prediction scoreboard within UFC broadcasts. I'm interested to see what that becomes, whether that's like as it's going along, like you have how fans are scoring it. And then in 2026, UFC and Zuffa Boxing will be available on Paramount Plus, which we obviously already knew. Interesting to see. They already have DraftKings Sportsbook as the official sportsbook partner of the UFC, which I don't think any brand does the official blank of blank
Like the UFC.
better than the UFC.
Yeah.
Official vodka, official hard seltzer, official hydration drink, official energy drink.
Yeah.
And now they get the splitting of the gaps to official sportsbook and official prediction market.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I had read somewhere that FanDuel and DraftKings were trying to get involved in this prediction market space. I don't know how that's going to work. Obviously, they've got it figured out. But Dana White was on CNBC and had this to say when asked about the partnership and gambling going on in the space.
What do you think of some of the other situations we've been reading about in terms of what's happening at the NBA, what's happening in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, unfortunately, these type of things are going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you do it in the UFC. I'm going to be the first one to go after you and try to bury you.
Yeah.
Made it pretty clear on how he feels about people trying to fix fights and stuff.
Federal fucking prison.
He's made it very clear every time, actually, now that I think about it. But it is interesting because, as you said, like they have a sportsbook partner, which is your very traditional, standard gambling, right? That is the I'm picking a side, I'm gambling. I'm picking a method of finish, I'm gambling on that. Prediction markets are derivative, right? Prediction markets are based on like overall sentiment, and they rise and fall on that. And we see a lot of times the way I've seen prediction markets come into the mainstream space is a lot of times around elections, right? They're based on the action. They're seeing that XYZ person is likely to win because of what the support looks like, and so. It's going to be interesting to see what this ultimately becomes as a partnership and what that like fan scoreboard and all these things. But it is a further leap by the UFC into the idea of placing money down on outcomes, right? It may not be exactly the one-to-one tie that it is for pick fighter X at X line and they will win or lose. But it's an interesting time for this to be happening for them. It's an interesting time for this space to kind of mature. I'm not surprised you mentioned DraftKings and FanDuel potentially getting into this space, this vertical. I'm not surprised by that. I hadn't heard that, but that doesn't strike me at all surprising because there's potentially so much money to be made, and they have such an infrastructure of people that they know will put money down on potential outcomes that makes a lot of sense for them as a business. So interesting to see. Especially if DraftKings or somebody that like UFC is partnered with does go into it, and now they have this partner on the other side that does that. But either way, as you said, another huge win on the marketing front for the UFC. Another example of hopefully one day down the line something that the UFC fighters could get a cut of if they were to make that happen. But for now, UFC wins again in another massive deal. With a space that seems to be maturing and growing and probably has a lot of potential.
Well, what's really interesting about this is that you can't use it in the U.S. yet.
Yeah.
It is. It's legal in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. Like California has it, even though it's illegal to bet on sports there. Texas has it. You know, all the states are able to use it, but it hasn't been launched in the U.S. So that makes me believe that the launch in the U.S. is imminent. And if you look at it, man, it almost just like they're they're just like gaming the system on sports betting. Like if you
Yeah.
go to the UFC page right now, they have every single fight available for UFC 322, and you pick a side. If you put down $10 on Islam Makhachev, it would return you $13.70. If you put down $10 on Jack Della Maddalena, it would return you $25.71. So it's essentially, they have it in cents, like I guess cents on the dollar, but it is essentially like a plus 250 and like a minus, 310 or something like that. So they're gaming the system, and then they have props like, will Trump attend UFC 322? Yes, no. Will Elon Musk attend a UFC event by December 31st? Yes, no. It's kind of like, I think Prize Picks, a way that they're able to work through the loopholes is making it, you're not doing sports betting. It's just yes, no.
Predictions.
Yeah, predictions of it. So it's very interesting to see something that's available to every customer. And if you start realizing, oh, your friends are into this, and oh, this is just betting. It's just you're using different terminology rather than minus 210 or plus 150. You're saying, oh, he's 78 cents, he's 28 cents. You'll eventually pick up on that terminology. It could lead to widespread popularity. I mean, you see it now being featured on South Park and everything like that. So it's blowing up. They're making a ton of money hand over fist. So once it's available in the U.S., it's going to be very interesting. But I don't think it's a bad thing to ask Dana about the effects of potential fight fixing surrounding it.
Oh, it's all in the same soup, right? If people can put money down on it, it creates these opportunities for a bad actor to come in and try to make the market the way they want it to be. They make the outcome the way they want it to be. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to be having these kind of parallel conversations. It's going to be interesting to see now that there's a swell of attention and a real zeal by the FBI to track down people that are in these types of gambling rings and in these potential game fixing scenarios, whether there's further regulation from the government, right? From the top down, not necessarily from a league perspective, but from the government on some of these markets and how gambling is accessed and what the rules and regulations are and how all this stuff comes together. It's a very interesting time, but in the meantime, another deal for the UFC.
Yeah, all I know is I'm going to wake up with my official coffee of the UFC, Black Rifle Coffee, get in my car with my official tire of the UFC, Toyo Tires, drive to Buffalo Wild Wings, the official pay-per-view sponsor of the UFC, drink my Anheuser-Busch, the official beer of the UFC, when I need a little energy, a little Monster Energy around the main card to start the official
Don't forget the hydration.
Have a Prime to stay hydrated, the official hydration drink of the UFC. I'll place my wagers on DraftKings, the official sportsbook of the UFC, and then I'll make my predictions on the official predictive market of the UFC, Polymarket. And then, if I'm feeling parched after all this, I'll go get a Mike's Hard, the official hard lemonade.
What are you wearing while you do this?
Complete head-to-toe Venom gear, the official gear of the UFC. And then if I get sore during it, I'll use Hyper Ice, the official massage therapy guns of the UFC, and then we'll finish it off with a quick trim afterward with my Manscaped razor, the official
And what
shaver
video game will you
of
play?
the UFC. Well, that's for later when I'm late nighting that night, and I'll be playing UFC 5, the official video game of the UFC.
And you're eating Prince Street Pizza, obviously.
Yeah, and then you Prince Street Pizza, and then you got to remember, when tax season rolls around, I'll call TurboTax, the official tax provider of the official tax preparation service of the UFC, where they do my taxes, but they have to make sure it's for my military status because I was in the Air National Guard, the official military partner. Of the UFC.
Got it.
And yeah, Morgan & Morgan will be my lawyer, the official law firm of the UFC. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous how many officials they have. And when I travel, I stay at Resorts World, the official hotel and hospitality of the UFC.
I thought you were doing this off the dome.
Yeah. No, I have it right here. And
if I get one
lucky
Who's
one,
to check?
if I get lucky one night, we'll go to Riz Pharma, the official erectile dysfunction and hair loss product of the UFC. Round 1 underway here. The clock brought to you by. Okay, shout out. Polymarket deal done with the UFC. Let's move on to this weekend.
Shout out to Riz Pharma.
Shout out to Riz Pharma. Shout out to him. Just up the road there, Madison Square Garden. You can almost see it.
Yeah.
It's just not quite in view. Madison Square Garden is the site of UFC 322 this weekend. In my opinion, it is the most stacked card of the year.
Agreed.
I think if you just look at it from top to bottom, the main card, the prelims that follow, the last 8 fights, inarguable bangers.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's fantastic. Last Last 7 fights, I actually think. But let's start with the main event of the evening. On one side, you have Jack Della Maddalena, the current welterweight champion of the world, riding an 18-fight win streak. Loses his first 2 fights in his career, knocks off 18 on route to becoming the UFC welterweight champion of the world. Has not lost since 2016, almost a decade since he last lost. And then on the other side, you have Islam Makhachev, the former 155 champion, moving up to challenge to become a 2-division world champion. He rides a 15-fight win streak, has not lost since 2015, a decade. 15 up, 15 down, 5 title fight wins mixed in there. I don't know what that feels like to just have a decade of dominance, but with that 15, he is now 1 away from tying Anderson Silva. We saw Kamaru Usman come 1 minute away from tying it in August of 2022, and then he gets the head kick, KO, heard around the world against Leon Edwards. Win streak stops there. I really do feel like this isn't being talked about enough. A record that stood for 12 years that feels like it's like almost unbeatable. It takes so long. Like this has taken him a decade of work to get to this point. On top of the potential of becoming a 2-division world champion, I think he would become the 11th in UFC history. The legacy markers that are on the line is incredible for Islam Makhachev here.
Yeah, and I don't think enough is being made about the idea that Islam probably could have just stayed at lightweight and really coasted, right? Like he's kind of dominating all the challenges available there. Ilya, I think now moving up to that division is the most interesting and kind of compelling, and the one that I think people would probably think makes Islam the most vulnerable if he was to stay at 55. But the idea that he is kind of risking something here, right? He is kind of putting something on the line. This win streak that he's potentially chasing, when you can tie this win streak that Anderson Silva has, it kind of makes you an immortal. And that's what, we put on the thumb for the show today. It's the type of record that when you look back at the record books, it does tell you like who's who, right? There's all kinds of things, like there's accumulative stats, right? Like nobody's ever going to touch Max Holloway in terms of total significant strikes. Like it's just not going to happen. If it happens, we might see like the most amazing fighter who's ever competed because of how long Max has been able to do it and the volume he puts out. But there's some records that just stand as like, if you can be the record holder in this specific regard, you are in the pantheon of the all-time greats. You are one of the people that we will talk about forever when it comes to this sport. And what's crazy to me is a lot of times when guys are approaching these types of records, it's probably toward the closer to the end of the career. But I do feel like Islam's like right smack dab in the middle of his prime. Like it does not feel like we've seen the very, very best of Islam Makhachev. It feels like he can do it for a long time. It feels almost like his predecessor, Khabib, where I felt like when he finally became number 1 pound for pound, when he was approaching the territory of becoming all-time great, it felt like he had more left to give, and Khabib kind of went this way. I feel like Islam's going to go this way. If Islam can get this second belt, and now he starts to rack up welterweight title defenses, he's going to start pressing. He's going to start pressing into the conversation of greatest of all time. I think he's already there with a win on Saturday amongst the greatest of all time, but I do think he starts to press toward that top spot, which is kind of bizarre to say, especially considering how I feel about John Jones and where he was in a field that I never thought could be eclipsed. But to go back to this specific record, the UFC is the proving ground for combat sports. Like, I certainly think that it is easier to win early fights now in the UFC than it was back then, right? These days, you're going to be facing contender series. It's contender series versus contender series, or it's you're a guy who's got 2 wins in the UFC and you're facing somebody a contender series. To have that stretch of wins that Islam Makhachev has, and we should go back. It wasn't like that was his debut. He won his debut at UFC 187, and then he lost that fight to Adriano Martins. So imagine if he didn't have that slip up, what this streak could truly look like. It's crazy.
He would also be 28-0 going for 29-0 if he didn't have the slip up, but maybe the slip up ended up helping him. I actually wanted to pose a question to you because this is his 29th professional fight. Yeah. If he wins on Saturday,
yes,
which he is favored to do so, but obviously fights happen for a reason. You got to see how they're going to play out. He will be 28-1. He'll have 6 title fight victories.
Yep.
He will be a 2-division champion. Is his resume 29 fights in? Obviously, Khabib went 29-0. Is his resume better than Khabib's?
I think it's already better than Khabib's.
Wow, even with a loss on Saturday.
Well, that's different, right? I'm talking about now, sitting
Right
here
now,
right
right
this
now.
moment.
Okay.
I don't need to see Saturday for me to say that. I think Islam has had a better career than Khabib at this point. I think the wins are comparable, but I do think Islam has been better. If he wins on Saturday, I don't think it's even a conversation, right? That second belt in another weight class means a lot. That's one thing that Khabib wasn't able to do, right? And again, we have to recognize Khabib left when he still could have competed. There's a lot of wins that could have been under Khabib's belt. Now, he also has the benefit of leaving before he lost, right? And Ronda Rousey said this in a little bit of a crude way, but there is a truth to what she was saying about the idea of like Khabib left in his prime, but Khabib left when there were still challenges ahead, right? There were other names that could have come up and given him a fight, and we never got to see him be vulnerable like we did with an Anderson Silva, or like we did with a GSP, or like we even did with Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who eventually falls to Henry Cejudo, although controversially. If you stay in the game long enough, that happens, which is why Islam Makhachev tying Anderson Silva's record, consecutive wins in the UFC, is extremely impressive, because if you stay around long enough, you will lose in the UFC. The competition is just too good. And you eventually are going to become champion, like Islam Makhachev did. And now you're facing killer after killer after killer. And now you're going up and facing another champion. It's an incredibly underrated record. I think Islam Makhachev has made the extraordinary feel ordinary to a certain degree. And I think Khabib has done that before him as well, where it's just like he feels inevitable to a certain degree, even when Dustin Poirier is pushing him, or even when it's seeming like he's in a tougher fight than we would have thought. He has made winning and success, and that team, that Abdul Manap lineage, has made winning and success almost feel like a foregone conclusion, to the point that, oh yeah, he's about to win this many fights in a row is kind of just like an afterthought. It's an asterisk somewhere.
It really is just like, it's mind-boggling what he's been able to do. I think if he wins on Saturday night, gets to 28-1, and then gets a title defense and breaks Anderson Silva's record.
So one more after
goes
that.
17. Then he will have a title defense at welterweight as well on top of winning the belt. He'll be 29-1. All of the accolades in the world. I think he is then like, you are seriously talking about greatest fighter of all time conversation, because I know we have the Martins loss, but he did get clipped in that one. It wasn't like he got beat down for 3 rounds. He got clipped, man. That's what it is. And now he hasn't been clipped for a decade, for 15 fights in a row, fighting the best of the best in the world. Like, you know, we're going to talk about the fight in a minute, and it's sort of like, how does Jack Della win? Like, he's going to have to be a dog. He's going to have to get grimy. Islam Makhachev can be a dog in there. Like, he has taken some beatings from some of these guys and hung tough, man. He's not the Khabib where it's like, never saw him bleed, man. Never saw him rocked. We've seen Islam Makhachev get hurt and fight through it and tough it out and will his way to victory. Also, just like his ability to finish people. I think it's like 8 of his last 9 opponents he's finished. I think Volk is like the only one to go to a decision, if I'm not mistaken. It's an incredible run that he's on, and I think with a win on Saturday, you're talking about like he's in that upper echelon of like, yeah, man, like Mount Rushmore and stuff. He gets a couple title defenses at welterweight. We're talking about potentially being the greatest fighter of all time.
It's John, it's GSP, and it's probably like his name enters the conversation there, right? Like a lot of people will start talking about Demetrius and start talking about Anderson Silva and all these guys who had incredible peaks. But like when you look at the totality of the resume, the guys that are up here, the guys that are the real true number ones when you have that conversation, is John and GSP, because they fixed. John never lost, right? We the Matt Hamill thing, everybody universally disregards that. What's crazy about Islam is everybody kind of universally disregards the Martins fight, which is not typically what you'd see, right? Nobody ever really talks about that. But if Ilia Topuria had a loss on his record back then, or Conor McGregor had a loss that they could really like focus in on in the UFC, they'd be fucking burying them. They'd be talking about how they were never any good. But Islam, it's kind of just been like, I've been dominating for so long that nobody even brings this up anymore.
I mean, to this day, anytime McGregor posts anything, you see in the replies people posting the picture of him getting choked out by Khabib. Like, they're never going to let that go. But like, you really don't see that. Like, Islam, like him, like laid flat out against Adriano.
You don't
Martins.
see the memes of Adriano Martins, because it's just such a he has done such a what?
I mean, we talk about like the Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya, like guy in the bar being like, I beat that guy one day.
Yeah.
If I'm Adriano Martinez, I'm like the 1973 Miami Dolphins or whatever it was,
Dolphins,
the undefeated Dolphins
Yeah.
team that pops the champagne every time all
Yeah.
the teams lose. I'm inverse. Every time Islam Makhachev gets another win, another title defense, I'm popping champagne. I'm just like, I fucking beat that guy.
Knocked him out cold.
You think I didn't have it? Look at this. Here I am knocking him out cold.
Yeah.
That one on his record, that's me, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I say 8 whiskeys deep if I'm Adriano Martinez at the local dive bar.
Shit,
They're like,
I don't
all
need
right,
one
Mr.
whiskey."
Martinez, it's time to go home. We'll call you a taxi. No, I'm driving. Mr. Martinez, chill. You want the same fate as Islam? I'm driving. Give me my keys. Mr. Martinez, chill. All right. We're getting down a tangent.
No, it's a good one, but it is a point in his favor of the idea of just what the last 10 years has been, what the resume has been able to do in terms of wiping that away.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's hard for me to picture other guys. Like, do I think that? Okay, this Anderson Silva record is a very, very significant one. The other one, there's only one more out there that I think is like in this territory. I mean, there's the Max one, but that's
Legit untouchable.
still going and untouchable, and B, a counting stat, right? It's just like, even if you're losing fights, you can get significant strikes. You can stay in a fight and get significant strikes. So it's a different kind of territory. The other one is the Demetrius Johnson title defense record. And now he's not in that territory, right? He is no longer the lightweight champion. So that's the type of one. If he wanted to, he could have stayed at lightweight and try to match the title defense record. He's taking an alternate path. It's going to be interesting to see how those things weigh out when it comes to all these debates and conversations about GOAT and what that ultimately looks like. But I do think the names that he puts himself in the territory of are John, are GSP, whether you have Demetrius or Habib or all those other guys up there. It's inarguable that he has to be in those conversations now if he wins on Saturday.
And all of this gets to take place at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Like, this is the pinnacle. This is what we wait for all year as a fan of this sport. It's for cards like this that's taking place on Saturday. It's truly incredible. Let's get to the fight itself.
Yeah.
Jack Della Maddalena is not a walkover.
No.
Islam Makhachev is going up a weight class, 15-pound difference up to 170 to take on a natural 170er who is the rightful champion there in Jack Della Maddalena. I think Islam Makhachev should be the favorite.
Yes.
I think with the win streak, with how dominant he's looked through some portions of it, I mean, you put him up against a guy like Renato Moicano, obviously on short notice, but it's just like walkover.
Yeah.
Like walkover. Like the bottom half of the top 10 just like isn't even a challenge for him in that division. I think he should be the favorite. But the way JDM fought the wrestling against Bilal Muhammad, and I understand that Bilal Muhammad is not Islam Makhachev, but they've trained together. We do know that. You know, best friends, they can't fight against each other. I think if he can have that anti-wrestling, if he can have that grappling defense and basically just make it dirty, just be staying active the entire time, sort of like the Poirier-Makhachev fight. I understand that Makhachev was winning that fight before the choke locked in, but like Poirier was hurting him, man. He was making that fight tough on him. I think JDM's going to have to do that, but just like a step better. Do what Volk did. Keep it incredibly close the entire time. Like, I think that's how he wins. I'd be shocked if he catches him and knocks him out. I know he's got that power in his hands, but like, I think it's going to have to be grimy. I think it's going to have to be close. I think he's just going to have to be ultra active the entire time. If he gets taken down, you got to pop right back up. Like, you cannot stay on the ground where Islam's just going to inflict damage throughout the entire round. You got to get back up. If he pushes you up against the fence, you got to get off the fence. You got to get the striking moments. Like, you got to get in the clinch. I was going to say go for takedowns yourself, but like that just isn't going to be that helpful, I don't think. Like, you got to just make it grimy.
I agree with you that that's the strategy. I would not point to Poirier, though. I would point to Volk. You mentioned Volk. I think that's the better route, and here's why. Poirier's game and Jack's game, in most cases, is predicated on like a combination of power, technique, and speed, right? They're really good punchers, but they're not volume guys, right? They can be. They can be if they're in a dogfight. Like, they can up the volume. But really the way they get by is their technique is very clean. And when they hit you harder than you hit them. So eventually, it kind of becomes hard to stay in the fight. It kind of becomes hard to be standing across from a guy like JDM or a guy like Dustin because of what they've been doing to you and how they've been bombing on you. Volkanovski's a little bit different. It's much more of a technique, movement, all those things, but the volume, right? It's the wave. It's the avalanche of strikes that are coming at you to disrupt what you're trying to do. And in addition to that, in a fight like the one where Volk had against Islam Makhachev, Volk's center of gravity is extremely low. So he has a good benefit there, right? If Islam wants to take him down, if Islam wants to get in on his legs, he has to really get low. And Volk has a pretty solid foundation to be able to plant his feet and see if he could thwart that takedown attempt. Jack's taller, Jack's longer. It's going to leave a little more opportunity for Islam to get in on the legs and try to get that leverage and potentially get those takedowns if he wants them. And needless to say, the Dagestani guys, in terms of takedowns, it's not just like shoot for a double and if it doesn't work, I'm popping back up. It's that chain wrestling. It's the grabbing. It's switching to the single. It's moving into the cage and doing these things. I think Jack's going to be a little more susceptible, but if he can use the footwork, if he can prevent some of the takedowns or get up after the takedowns, high volume. If he just, in those exchanges, instead of trying to hurt Islam Makhachev, which as we've seen, right, is very hard to do. You can hurt him, but to finish him, to actually get him out of there, you need to just have been Adriano Martins on the best night of your life, and that's basically it. So if Jack can keep the volume high and win those in-between spaces, whenever Islam is engaging in the striking, if you can land 3 to his 1, if you can land 4 to his 2, and just start doubling up, I do think he can find success there.
All right, so in the Bilal fight, he threw 342 significant strikes. I think he's going to have to replicate that here.
That's what you have to do.
You just got to stay on the gas pedal.
The problem, looking at that fight, though, Bilal wanted to throw 300 strikes himself.
He threw 318 himself.
That's the problem. I don't think he's going to have as many opportunities to throw that many strikes as he is. He needs to make the most of those opportunities that he does have to throw strikes.
I was going to say, is he more cautious in unloading the clip because he knows the threat of the takedown is always waiting?
Oh, he'd better fucking be.
I mean, we saw it in the Charles Oliveira fight when Islam originally got his belt. Charles Oliveira is this agent of chaos. He just brings the fight to you. You saw a bit of that being cautious from Charles Oliveira, which you never see because you know the threat of the complete package from Islam Makhachev. So we could see that from JDM on Saturday.
That's the other thing, though, that being a high volume and not necessarily wanting to sit down on your punches and hurt them allows you to do, right? Because you can keep on the footwork. You can keep moving. You can throw punches in bunches. When you want to plant your feet and try to hurt Islam Makhachev, man, those feet are about to come off the mat because you're going for a ride when he takes you down.
I think Islam's watching the tape from the Basil Hafez fight.
I'm
Gilbert
sure.
Burns fight, and
You know what?
his chops.
He might not. He might not even be. The game plan's the same with Islam Makhachev, and it's different than the Habib. And that's what I've always thought was so unique about Islam compared to Habib is Islam's perfectly happy to throw hands with you. Habib kind of did too. He was a little bit of a striker by the end of his career, but Islam can trade with the best of them. I don't think Islam will be out of his depths at all in a pure striking battle with JDM. In fact, we saw Bilal Muhammad, who people hate and would criticize till the cows come home about he has no hands and he's just a boring crotch sniffer and he's just a wrestler, stay on the feet with Jack Della Maddalena for the majority of that fight. Islam would be totally...
Cracked him up.
No, Jack beat him up, but look, Bilal got his licks in there too. It was a good fight on the feet. Islam, I don't think, is going to be... Islam doesn't have to worry about Jack on the feet as much as Jack has to worry about Islam in the takedown.
On the ground, yeah.
That's the big difference in the fight. And I think that key advantage is going to be very important for Islam. But that's not to say that I think Islam is better than Jack on the feet. That's just to say that the gap between them is significantly smaller than the gap in the grappling. The Bilal fight did show me some technique things, though, and some strategy things that Jack was way improved. His work with Craig Jones and the rest of his staff and the rest of his team has paid dividends. Like, there were things that he was doing in the Bilal Muhammad fight that you did not see in the fights with Gilbert Burns and Basil Hafez and other parts of the fights where we go, oh man, maybe Jack doesn't have any takedown defense. He looked significantly improved. There were some technical things that you could see
Gilbert
that he was
Burns
doing
went
differently.
7 of 11.
Yeah.
And racked up over 5 minutes of control time. We did not see that in the Bilal Muhammad fight. Bilal Muhammad got 3 takedowns and 3 minutes of control time.
That was not the same guy. So I think it will be harder. But man, the gap is still that if you're looking for what is one of these two fighters' clearest path to victory? It's absolutely Islam Makhachev taking down Jack Della Maddalena.
There is a world where the takedowns are coming for Islam, and they're coming frequently, and this looks kind of like one-way traffic. There's also a world where the takedowns don't come that easy.
Maybe.
The weight, the size difference actually does matter. We've seen guys go up weight classes and actually struggle. Obviously, the most recent instance being Ilia Topuria in a stylistic matchup that worked well for him isn't the best example, but like you have guys like Israel Adesanya put their undefeated records on the line against a Jan Blachowicz, and it's just too much. The size difference like just matters too much. I don't know if that's going to happen here because I don't really worry about Islam's size. Like
That's the problem.
his height isn't an issue. He is also jacked to the gills.
Yeah.
If I ever looked like Islam Makhachev, I'd be walking around here shoving people into lockers. Like I'd be like, what are you going to do, bro? I take 5 milligrams
Until
of
you see
creatine every day.
Adriano Martinez at the bar with the one drink.
No, 8 whiskeys lined up. No, there goes Martins.
That to me is the difference, though. Israel Adesanya is not a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like it was a valiant effort. He went up there. Jan Blachowicz is every bit of a light heavyweight, and Israel Adesanya is not. For all accounts, when you hear fighters talk about when they see Islam Makhachev in person, every one of them says he's a welterweight. Every one of them says that this is the weight class he really should have been fighting at.
And may have even been the same with Khabib.
100%.
So that grip strength test, that 161 is crazy.
Are you shocked?
No, I'm not
It's
shocked.
the most like, yeah.
I know it's Aiden Ross, but I think Aiden Ross was literally tapping to him, grabbing his arm. He's like, no, chill. I mean, I would do the same.
He does do the chill.
161 pounds of force is quite a
No,
bit.
he's an absolute savage. I've glazed him quite a bit in this, but I do think Jack is going to be a tougher fight than maybe he's getting credit for.
I actually agree with that 1,000%.
But I don't think this is the guy that stops Islam Makhachev.
I just think people find a way to give fighters an air of invincibility when they're on these great winning streaks and they've been so dominant. I mean, just look at the last fight, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. I could even admit to being guilty of like, man, I think Tom's going to run through him. And then, you get 3 or 4 minutes into the fight and you're like, this is going differently than I expected. I think the way Volk fought in the first fight, some people felt the same way. They were surprised with how competitive he was keeping it. Obviously, this is different circumstances. Volk is all-time. He was pound for pound number 2 at the time. JDM sort of got a circumstantial title shot and capitalized on it. All credit to him. He is the champion. But yeah, I just do think sometimes people get caught up in the record, in the dominance, and they give fighters this air of invincibility.
Absolutely, that happens.
I'm seeing some people just being like, JDM has no chance.
No chance, yeah. I do think, though, that team in particular, Islam, Khabib, Umar even, they're almost what's the word I'm looking for? They're almost bulletproof when it comes to that, right? They are as good as the win streaks show. They are as dominant as the performances show. They are every bit as good. And they have a thing that other people don't have. That is just the truth. In the same way that Merab has a thing that nobody else has, right? Not even Umar, not even somebody who I consider a special fighter has in that gas tank, in that cardio that nobody can touch. Nobody can do anything with. They have this wrestling foundation. They have these fundamentals. They have this base of Sambo combined with different forms of wrestling, different styles. Khabib more so, right? Khabib was this guy who would get in on takedowns, and he's transitioning between 6 different styles before he gets you down and you're completely cooked. Like he's just a load to deal with. They have this thing that they've been trained from birth to do that nobody else can do. It does not matter how long you've been doing MMA. Jack Della Maddalena has been doing MMA a shorter amount of time than they've been on the mats doing this for their entire lives. It's just not possible. You can't make up that experience and you can't make up that foundation. So they're the most protected from that kind of, in my opinion, that team, that group is the most protected from the idea of just like, well, they're dominating, but like it makes you think they're invulnerable. They truly might be invulnerable. It really is just that simple.
All right, official prediction. Who and how?
I think Islam's going to sub him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know when, maybe second, maybe third.
Oh, champ Islam.
I think Islam's going to sub him. There's going to be a point in the fight where I believe that Jack is not going to be able to prevent the takedown. And when he gets on his back, it is going to be extremely tough sledding.
I've been here since the Pete Rodriguez days. I ain't jumping off the train now. Are you kidding me?
I don't
Donnie
blame you.
Giacomo, split decision victory at the Garden. Drops him in the 4th round. Everyone goes nuts. Arguments on Twitter. 1, 4, and 5. No. 2, 3, 4 Islam. It all came down to that 4th round. How'd you score that one? That's my favorite.
The Volk fight?
No, when you get a title fight and then it's just like, it's all going to come down to that 2nd round. How'd you score that one?
Is that
Yeah, we know.
Ben? Is that you?
We
Ben
know.
Bain? The Volk fight was that. The Volk fight did come down to a round. The Volk fight is one where people were like, I thought Volk won XYZ number of rounds. Even Poirier, right? People, I think, remember that one as being a little closer than it actually was on the scorecards. Islam was up 4-1. But
Was that a 5th round finish?
yes.
Was that 4th round? Yeah, 5th round.
Yes, 5th round.
Yeah.
He was up 4-1, but I do think that
I think one judge had it 2-2.
that was it. One judge had a 2-2. I do think that
3-1, 2-2. 3-1, 3-1, 2-2. There it is.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because it didn't go to it didn't go to 5 different rounds. I do think that Jack is going to be better than what people expect of his takedown defense, but I don't think it's going to hold up over the course of the 5 rounds. That's
Tough.
where I'm at.
It's tough to deal with the pressure that these Dagestanis
But I
put on
don't
you.
expect like this. I don't think Islam is not Habib, and we have to continue to kind of like talk about this. Islam is not going in there to shoot doubles on Jack Della Maddalena. May he? Is there a world where it looks like Bobby Green, where he just takes him down once and it's just a wrap and it's night-night? Sure, like that's a possibility. But I don't think I think he respects Jack Della Maddalena. I think he respects the challenge ahead of him at welterweight. And again, remember, the guys he's been fighting have been 155ers, and in the case of Volkanovski, 145ers. It's not like it's going to just be as easy to get a 170-pound guy like Jack to the ground. So I don't think he's coming in there with the game plan of like, oh man, I got to take Jack down. Once you psych yourself into that and you're like, I got to take Jack down, or the opposite is what I feel happened in the Bilal Muhammad fight, where Bilal was like, I got to stay in the feet. I got to prove to people that I can box with Jack Della Maddalena, and it didn't look the way he wanted.
That ain't gonna happen. I can promise you. This camp.
Yeah.
The two things they're going to do, they're going to come in mentally ready and they're going to come in physically ready. He will be prepared for this fight.
If Jack gets heavy on that leg at any point, I think he's going for a ride. That's basically where I stand.
Oh,
If Jack's
it's gonna be incredible. I can't wait for this fucking fight. Dude.
if Jack's floating, if Jack's bouncing and he's landing 3 for every 1 from Islam, it's going to look like a really good fight. And I think he's got a real chance in that. The moment that leg starts to get heavy, the moment he starts to plant for a shot, I just can't see how Islam doesn't gobble that thing up and dump him.
Pause. What a task ahead of him.
How he doesn't crack him, you know?
Yeah. Gobble it up and crack him. What a task ahead of JDM. I mean,
And Islam.
It's crazy. Yeah, of course. With both in front of both of them, and the fact that it goes down at MSG, I got a grin from ear to ear. Just thinking about it, it's going to be incredible. Let's go to the co-main event. Another unbelievable fight taking place at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Pound for pound, women's number 1 versus pound for pound, women's number 2. The highest level women's MMA fight I think you can make right now. Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang, doing the same exact thing as Islam Makhachev, moving up from 115 up to 125 to challenge for a second belt. And we talk about the Anderson Silva win streak stat flying under the radar. I think the fact that Zhang Weili could become the first double champion, 2-division champion at 115 and at 125, or even at 125 and 135 in women's history is significant. Obviously,
Because these are real divisions.
yeah, the only, not to shit on women's flyweight, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Featherweight.
Not to shit on women's featherweight, but it doesn't exist anymore. The only double champ in women's history was Amanda Nunes, and it was 135, 145. It was kind of like,
I would dare say women's featherweight never existed.
yeah.
When
it's just like-
Cyborg, it existed when Cyborg was there, and after Cyborg was, before Cyborg was there, it didn't exist, and after Cyborg left, it didn't exist. There was no 145 other than Cyborg.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting title defenses against like Megan Anderson, where she's like a minus 800 favorite going into all of them. Felicia Spencer for the featherweight title. Like it just wasn't top level competition that she was fighting.
It was bad.
I think the fact that Zhang could be 115 and 125 champion is incredibly significant.
Totally agree. The one thing I'll say is Amanda's win to become the 45-pound champion is
Oh
up
yeah,
here for
don't get me wrong, bro. Amanda Nunes, the run she went on from what is it, March of 2016 to December of 2019 is bulletproof, ironclad, unreal. Shevchenko, Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Shevchenko, Pennington, Cyborg, Holm, Jermaine Durandamy. Like, there's no arguing that.
If you beat Cyborg, you have beaten the best 145 pounder on the planet, bar none. In my
They
opinion,
should have just closed the division down at that point.
honestly, in my opinion, the best women's fighter of all time. And so,
Knock her out in 50 seconds.
This is the chance that Zhang has, in my opinion. Like, whatever happens from here, to become flyweight champion, you are going to have to beat the best flyweight of all time. You are going to have to beat the one that universally, unanimously, no debate, is the best to ever do it in this weight class, is the best to be doing it right now. She's proven herself as the flyweight champion. If you get this done, you have done the impossible, right? You have done it against the best. And so it is an extremely tough challenge that I think is in front of her. And if you're Valentina, you have thoroughly kind of just like cleared this division out to the point that the toughest test is probably somebody like Zhang, who is the strawweight champion, who is as respected and admired amongst her peers as you are. This fight is this. I think this honestly might be my favorite on the card. I think this is my favorite fight that we're gonna have.
I love the fight. Zhang Weili is one of my favorite fighters. So is Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, both of them are fantastic for the sport. I don't know if it's the one I'm looking forward to the most. Like, I think it'll be a high volume, a high level match, but like there is a chance that it isn't like the most entertaining fight of the card.
Bro, go back and watch Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Go back and watch that shit.
I mean, what? Oh, of course, the OG one, and then also the spinning back fist.
Well,
on
that one too.
275. I had the over 1.5 in that one.
If you find somebody who will stand and strike with Zhang for a bit, like I expect Valentina,
which I think Valentina will. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'm not.
This one's gonna be a banger.
Enough credit. Maybe it's just like the like end of the Tatiana fight and the last two Grasso fights. I was like, yeah, this one's gonna be sick. This one's gonna be sick. I'm with you. I like the idea of them just like throwing down, striking, each throwing like 250 strikes over the 5 rounds and it being exciting.
I think it could go that way, and I think. Now, does it have to necessarily like? Do I think that Valentina Shevchenko might try to take this into the grappling realm? Maybe, because there's been times where we see Shevchenko like really dedicate herself to grappling and like make that her game plan, right? In what was it, Grasso 2 or 3? I forget which one. 3, right?
Yeah, Grasso.
Which is the one where
she
she
used it in both, but in Grasso 3 she got 8 takedowns.
Okay, that's the one where she just kept taking her down
taking
over and over and over.
What if that doesn't work though?
Oh no,
the takedown defense that Zhang showed against Tatiana Suarez was like, you don't have shit for me.
Yeah.
Like going into round 2, Tatiana Suarez must have been like, fuck, I am fucked. Like, I've tried taking her down several times. It's not working, and she is piecing me up on the feet.
Tatiana's all heart, but she had the difference between Tatiana and Valentina. I mean, obviously they're different, right? But the biggest difference is for Tatiana, that's option 1, 2, and 3, right? If I don't take Zhang down, like I'm cooked. With Valentina, hey, I can stand and strike. Like I'm a decorated kickboxer. I'm a decorated Muay Thai fighter. I can do this. I can hold my own here. But she's also not as good in that one singular wrestling discipline. I think if Valentina is going for takedowns, it's a lot more opportunistic. She has very good timing. We saw in the Manon fight, like when she wanted to sometimes kind of mix that in, she was able to do it. We also saw her susceptible against her as well. I do think at this point in their careers, I think Valentina is a little less devastating, a little less like of a fight closer than I expect Zhang to be. Zhang is a powerhouse. Like you take one look at her and you can tell like she can crack, and then you see her fight and you know that she brings that kind of power. I do think she's going to be the one who's landing probably the stiffer shots, and I do worry that at this point in her career, if Valentina has become a little bit more predictable, right? The game plan, the patterns, the tape is out. The same way, like the reason Anderson Silva's record is so impressive, not to go away from the co-main back to the main, but for a second, the reason that Anderson Silva record is so impressive and the reason why John Jones is the GOAT is because there is infinite tape on these people. When you fought 13 times and won 13 times in the UFC like Anderson Silva, everybody knows what the hell you can do. When you're John Jones, you fought 30 times in the UFC and have won all the time. Everybody knows what you're going to do. Valentina Shevchenko, there's infinite tape on her.
And every fight you get is the best up-and-comer starving.
Yeah.
Starving for that belt.
There's an Alexa Grasso every time.
Yeah.
There's a Tatiana Suarez. There's some kind of challenger that's always going to be there. This is their moment. This is their best opportunity. Zhang is trying to make her name on Valentina Shevchenko. And so she's had to do this over and over and over and over and over. And there's so much out there. I do wonder if at a certain point, somebody like Zhang Weili, who brings a little more explosion, who's just a little bit more powerful, who might be able to just stand in the pocket with her, finds the patterns and can close the show.
Two things to note. I did misremember that Tatiana fight. She did get a takedown and some control time in the first round. That was the only round she had any
That was
success
it.
in, though. That was the rest of the fight. Number two, they are 37 and 36, so the age isn't that different, but I do agree with you in the sense that like it feels like this like career resurgence from Zhang, this like almost like championship run part two. She's just been like that much more aggressive, that much more of like a dog, just like great physicality. And I think she's going to bring this here. I think it's kind of similar to Islam Makhachev in the sense that like, bro, she was strong as shit at 115 and now giving her those extra 10 pounds to bulk up. I mean, she's picking up who? Shaq and Francis Ngannou at this size?
Whoever,
like, So I think she's going to add on muscle. She's going to do it properly. If you watch Embedded, she talks about how all she literally does is just eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train. She's dedicated to this life. I think she's going to come into 125 properly. I think her explosiveness and her speed is going to carry. And I'm gonna give the edge just to Zhang Weili. I mean, I did it last December, 11 months ago. We did the prediction show. I said she'd beat Tatiana Suarez. She goes up to 125. She beats Valentina Shevchenko. Double champ, female fighter of the year. I'm not changing on my prediction now.
I love it. I was on Tatiana in that fight. I was proven wrong. I do believe that Zhang is going to be a little bit sharper, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. I lean ever so slightly there. But in saying that I do believe she's going to have those slight advantages, I think they're very slight. I think that Valentina is still very, very good. I think she's extremely high level.
It's going to be close.
And it's going to be close. And it's going to come down to winning rounds. And so would I be shocked if one of those rounds that just needs to swing goes her way? Not even a little bit.
This is one of those ones where if you just showed me Saturday night and it was them reading out the scorecards, and it was like 48-47, Bell, 48-47, Sal Diamano, and then you're a winner by split decision, I'd just be like, that's not any girl can either woman can win this one. It wouldn't shock me either way.
Finishing potential though, you have to lean Zhang, right? Like if you're,
I think so, yeah, but I don't think she's finished her last three opponents.
Yeah,
I felt like she could have gotten Yan Zhaonan out of there, but like talk about a dog, like
Yan Zhaonan is like this tier of dog, like
starts barking in there.
I just feel like the power, man, and especially moving up. Sometimes, obviously, when you're moving up a weight class, you're losing power, right? Like when you're talking about, let's say you're a middleweight going up to 205, you're giving up something actually, probably in terms of the power department, because at middleweight those guys can crack, but now at light heavyweight there's a different level of power. I think the difference in power between 115 and 125 is actually to the point that if Zhang doesn't have to deplete herself and cut down, she's actually probably going to be more powerful at 25. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more similar to like Ilia Topuria, where it's like, oh, I don't have to sacrifice this in my body, or Conor McGregor, right? I don't have to sacrifice this in my body. I don't have to be at such a calorie deficit that I'm cutting out some of my strength. And you get up to that new weight class and that power translates and that power carries super well. I actually expect Zhang to maybe be a little more powerful at 125.
Main and co-main are unbelievable. You have two fighters trying to become two division champions. The four fighters combined, JDM, Islam, Zhang Weili, and Valentina Shevchenko. 48-6 in the UFC.
Yeah. This is as good as it gets.
48-6 in the UFC, and then their individual records: Islam 27-1, JDM 18-2, Valentina 25-4-1, and then Weili Zhang 26-3.
What is Islam still number one pound for pound for the UFC?
Nah, Ilia.
Okay.
Two.
So you've got the number 2 pound for pound.
I think JDM's like 8 or 9.
The number 8, and then you've got the 1 and 2, right?
Fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
Crazy. With titles on the line.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Legacies on the line. Like, it's incredible, dude. It's as good as it gets. If you're not excited for this, you ain't a fight fan. Let's go to the featured bout on the main card. Sean Brady, our boy, our duck, taking on the undefeated Michael Morales, 18-0. I actually want to show a couple pictures of Michael Morales rolling around New York City. If you know ball, you know Michael Morales, Miles Morales, Into the Spider-Verse. He posted these pictures going around in the Miles Morales Spider-Man suit. I got to say, pretty sick. I think Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, whichever one the second one was, is my favorite movie of the decade so far. Went and saw it in theaters 3 times. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the third one. They could finish this trilogy off beautifully. Honestly, I'm due for a rewatch. I might rewatch it tonight. Unbelievable movie. But yeah, shout out to Michael Morales showing a little bit of personality there. That's also his IG pick. It's just the Miles Morales.
He looks good in the suit.
Shout out to him. Looks good. Period. You know, rocking the purple shorts, the platinum blonde hair. 18-0. He's got the look. But on Saturday he gets Sean Brady. A lot on the line here. If he's able to get this done, if he's able to finish Sean Brady in the way that he finished Neil Magny and Gilbert Burns, my God, he might get the title shot. If he goes out there and knocks Sean Brady out in the first round,
yes,
there's a world where this kid gets a title shot.
Very possibly.
Now that's easier said than done. Can you do it against Sean Brady, who was in a very similar situation 3 years ago, undefeated prospect, gets a guy near the top end of the division in Bilal Muhammad, kind of meets his match in that one. Sort of like, you need to go back to the lab and you know, work on a few things. Gets knocked out in the second round by Bilal Muhammad. Now on a 3-fight win streak since then. Michael Morales, 18-0, getting a guy at the top end of the division. Is it too much too soon for Michael Morales, or is this guy just the truth? I mean, sometimes when fighters have O's, it can make us a little bit delusional in the fact that like they're unbeatable, they're untouchable, and you know, most of the time, except in like the case of Khabib, you see that O get taken away eventually.
Yeah. I think Michael Morales is every bit as good as his record, and I think the physical gifts that he has are a huge advantage over every welterweight he's going to face. Like, he is just a massive human with insane power, freak athleticism. Those are the attributes you'd want if you're a fighter. Across from him, though, I think we have one of the better technicians in the sport in terms of the grappling game. Like, Sean Brady is an absolute A-plus grappler. And
with strength and grit to get you to the mat.
Strength, technique. He has everything in order to control where the fight goes. To me, this is like one of those fights that I really don't actually know which way it's going to go. I lean ever so... Like, I don't really have a strong lean. Like, in the co-main, I feel Zhang, but I expect it to be close. In the main, I feel Islam. I expect him to finish the fight. With this one, I really don't know. I truly do not know how this is going to go, because I think if Sean Brady can get mitts on him, and if Michael Morales isn't able to just plant his tree trunk legs and be like, no, you're not taking me down. If he takes Michael Morales down, he's in a world of trouble. Sean Brady is the type of guy that all he needs is one takedown, and you are in a very, very bad position. On the other side of it, if Sean Brady slips up in any phase of the striking and Michael Morales launches those massive arms at him, he could go to sleep instantaneously. It just is that. So I don't know which way this goes. This feels like more of like this is like rock, paper, scissors to me, right? Where it's like, we're going to just throw these hands out there and somebody's going to win. I don't really know how it's going to go, but somebody's going to have paper and somebody's going to have scissors, or somebody's going to have a rock and somebody's going to have scissors, and one of them's going to win. But it's not like, I don't think there's like the shades. I don't think there's like the storytelling in this fight where it's like, it's going to be like in this phase, he's going to do this, and this guy's going to have this moment. One of these guys is going to implement their game plan, and the other lost.
In the Gilbert Burns fight, it didn't last long enough for him to get tested in the grappling.
No.
Max Griffin went for like 8 takedowns against him. Max Griffin is not Sean
not
Brady. This is one of those fights, I'm with you, where starts out, minute in, Sean Brady blasts a double, stuff, they're back at range.
That's bad news.
Sean Brady tries to get in on a single. You know, Michael Morales hops around for a bit, shoves him off, they're back at range. I will immediately be like, Sean Brady, there's a chance that Sean Brady's in trouble here. And then on the flip side of that, if Sean Brady blasts across the cage, puts his back up against the fence, tucks his legs out and dumps him down onto the mat, it'll be the same thing for Michael Morales. I'll be like, Michael Morales is probably in trouble here because he's probably just going to go for a ride again. The dominance that Sean Brady showed against Leon Edwards, and I understand that Leon Edwards is at a different point in his career than when he was holding the title in the back-to-back wins over Kamaru Usman. But, dude, to do that to a former champion, just like pillar to post and be the first guy to finish him, I think he has improved his game significantly since the Bilal fight. I see some people being like, oh, man, if he gets KO'd by Bilal, then, like, what's Michael Morales going to do to him? It's just like, well, that was 3 years ago, and he has been training nonstop ever since and improving his game. I don't think it works like that. I think it's the inverse. I think he's now the one being the veteran. He's taken the lumps in the UFC. He's fought at the top tier of this division. And I'm going to edge him, but...
Whoa, easy.
Jesus, we're all over the place. You're like, rock, paper, scissors. They're going to go out there and just throw it out. I was like, all right, man. Someone's getting cracked.
Someone's getting cracked today.
I'm going Sean Brady, but these all three of these so far, it's just like, do not come at me winning if they're wrong.
The only thing, I do want to go back to the Bilal fight because Sean Brady's mind was not in the right place at that fight, and he's come on several times to talk to Ariel about that. Like, he just wasn't mentally where he needed to be for that fight, and it was a really rough fight for him. In addition to the fact that when you're going in to fight Bilal Muhammad, that's not what you're preparing for, right? Like, you're not expecting to get flashed by. Yeah, you're not expecting to get flashed by Bilal Muhammad. You're expecting to have kind of like.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, we're
today,
saying
right?
A lot of.
Sean Brady flashed by Bilal Muhammad.
Pause for everything from this point over. But my point is, I say that to say, Sean Brady is taking a fight against a guy that everybody knows that his path to victory is to stand there and put you on the end of a punch, or some kind of kick or knee or whatever. But his path to victory is to hit you at range, is to just strike you with something that is devastating and take you out of there. Whereas Bilal, I think, is a very well-rounded fighter. He has different weapons. He has different ways to win the fight. And so if you are Sean Brady and you accept this fight, you know what you have to do in this fight. There is no secret to what your game plan has to be. You have to stay extremely safe on the feet. You have to stay out of trouble in every part of that. And then when it comes time to take him down, you take him down and you submit him and you get it done there. So I think by Sean Brady even signing on the dotted line against a killer like him, he knows what the game plan is, and he is going to stick to that very, very strictly.
Can't wait for that one. These top three are so good. So is the rest of the main card. Let's keep it rolling. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Praches, Sean Brady's last opponent. I actually saw a crazy butterfly effect. It was supposed to be Leon versus JDM in London.
Yes.
And then JDM had to pull out, but then Shavkat was injured, so he didn't ever get the call, so they needed someone for Bilal, and so it ended up being JDM. And then Sean Brady steps up against Leon Edwards. It's like this whole spider web of the welterweight division, but now you have JDM versus Islam, and then Leon and Sean Brady fighting underneath it. Leon gets Carlos Praches, and we got some new Venom shorts here that a picture's been surfacing of Leon and Praches in these new shorts. And a lot of people I see out there are saying, Leon got his chain snatched. He lost his custom shorts.
Oh, these look great.
I am, the number one shorts guy. The OG Venom are actually the best. We don't need these updates.
For sure. All the Venom shorts are great.
This picture, everyone's like, yo, Leon got his chain snatched, bro. He lost his custom shorts, man. He fell off like Unc is chopped. He didn't have his custom shorts against Sean Brady. Just had the black shorts.
No, this is it, man. This is the peak of MMA fashion.
Throw some red triangles on there.
The triangles on the side, on the hips.
Conspiracy floating around out there that, they always announce the new shorts on Tracy Cortez's card.
Can neither confirm nor deny,
It's a valiant conspiracy theory. New shorts though.
They suck. As do all the shorts that Venom makes.
I don't know why we
UFC
need
fights.
new ones.
They suck.
I don't know why we needed new ones. They're just the OG back in the day where.
There's nothing special. Do we have custom shorts? Did we get any new revelations of custom shorts? No,
I think
because
the purple's a little bit richer.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Thank the heavens.
Yeah.
Thank God we got the richer purple.
Turned up the richness on the purple.
The clip art was firing on all cylinders that day. Fucking hell. These garbage ass shorts.
Oh,
yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah. This is it. God, they always deliver, don't they?
Black and gold looks good.
Oh, it looks so good.
Black and gold
It looks so good.
Befitting of a champion. The yellow looks fucking horrid.
The whole thing is just, what is this? What even are the triangles?
Look at Big GM3. Look at our guy Machine Gun in the dark green.
Chepe. Whoop, whoop.
Shout out to
By the way,
Venom, man.
BSD, I'm noticing this now. I've always noticed it, but I've never articulated it. The beard always looks like he's frowning.
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah.
beard into the...
He looks like a ventriloquist dummy. Like someone's gonna put his hand in the back and start talking with him.
He always has that.
Yeah, he's
And the
constant
beard
frown.
outlines the shape because it's like around the mouth line.
Yeah. Can't wait to order these in every color.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The tights, the Muay Thai,
Oh, yeah.
the one with the cut up the side.
Who's got the new custom with the, the clip art on it?
I didn't see any custom ones this week.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know did Islam have custom ones? I
We've
don't
been
know.
robbed.
All right. Leon Edwards, Carlos
Yeah.
Praches. Carlos Praches is a sizable favorite, minus 200 in that range. I don't know where Leon's at in his career, but after watching the Ian Gary Carlos Praches fight, Leon Edwards has never been knocked out. This fight is only 3 rounds. Is there any world where Leon Edwards is able to implement a similar game plan as Ian Gary?
Yeah, there absolutely is. I think it's extremely likely that Leon Edwards is going to have some good success on the feet. The thing about the Ian Gary fight, though, was it did not look like Carlos was Carlos. And he's not come out and said anything about that. He hasn't said anything to the effect of like a reason why he just didn't show up for that fight, but he did not look like himself. I would not, if I was Leon Edwards, that is definitely not the version I would be expecting to come into the cage. I would not be praying that the Ian Machado Gary version of Carlos Praches walks into the cage. I'd be preparing for that Jeff Neal version. I'd be preparing for that Neil Magny version. And if that version does show up, I do think Leon's in quite a bit of trouble because the power is just completely different. The power levels between those two is about as big as a gap as you can have in a division. Carlos is a guy who puts people to sleep, and Leon is not, right? Save for the Kamaru Usman head kick from the heavens, from the gods.
Yeah.
He is much more of a volume and technique guy. So I'd be worried.
You know I love Praches. Could someone bring me my cigarettes? I forgot my cigarettes in the control room there. Love Carlos Praches. If he is able to put out Leon Edwards on Saturday night, Leon Edwards would have then lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
Be miles from the title. Been submitted by Sean Brady, first time he ever got finished. Be knocked out by Carlos Praches, first time he's ever been knocked out. Where do you go from there at that point? It feels like the career is approaching an end if that were to happen.
It would be bad, but I would point to a counterpart in Kamaru Usman,
Okay.
who experienced some similar turbulence, who kind of hit the bump in the road,
Okay.
and then was able to right the ship and actually is still like a relevant and present guy in this division. I don't think this is doom or gloom for Leon Edwards if he loses, because you look at the level of competition he's facing. Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, Carlos Praches, like these are the killers of this division now. Like these are the guys. I wouldn't jump too quick to a conclusion that like, it's over for Leon. Like this guy could never be anything again. I think he can still hang around the top of the division. But what I would need if I was Leon Edwards is a favorable fight. Like I would need a fight against a guy that I can get my mojo back with and win the fight and look comfortable on my feet and showcase a little bit. These are the types of fights that you take when you're trying to get back to a title, right? If he loses to Carlos, I don't think he's getting back to a title, and I think that's when you start looking at how can I stay relevant in this division? Give me somebody that's a good matchup.
I'll actually make the argument that he thinks that this is that by getting Carlos Praches, who is a striker. Losing the grappler.
It's possible.
And getting a striker, I think he thinks that this is a very winnable match.
I would think maybe a little longer in the tooth, but yeah, he maybe because he's talked about it, right? It's been a while since like Sean Brady, Bilal Muhammad, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. Not since Nate in 2021 has he faced a guy whose primary style is not grappling. Now, granted, Bilal Muhammad has become a little bit more of like a wrestle boxer, right? It's not all takedowns, but for all intents and purposes, Colby, Kamaru, Bilal, Brady, these are grapplers. These are primarily grapplers and guys you have to worry about their takedowns. I don't think we have that same expectation for Carlos. I think we're expecting them to stand and trade. The difference, though, is the youth, the hunger, the power. That is there was a point where Leon was that guy. Now I think Carlos is that guy.
Yeah, I also think that the loss to Ian Gary can be a learning moment for Carlos, not to just rely on the knockout, because if that Ian Gary fight stops after 3 rounds, which this fight is going to be, it's just like, damn, he got his doors blown off.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had the moment in the 5th round and it looked like, he could potentially be doing something in terms of getting a finish. He had, Ian Gary crawling to the side of the cage and everything like that. Wasn't able to get him out of there. But, man, if that one only goes 3 rounds, it's just like, damn, 30-27s across the board. Like, Ian Gary just showed levels.
He looked pretty back against Jeff Neal.
Yeah, I'd say
he looked pretty back against Jeff Neal.
I'd say so. Let's go to the last fight on the main card. The first one we'll be watching on Saturday night. But
Wait, so I'm leaning Carlos. Are you in agreement there?
Carlos.
Okay.
Come on, get the SIGs out. I'll be cheering for old Carlos on Saturday night. But Beneil Dariush taking on Benoit Saint Denis, BSD. I think this one is just like, what Dariush are we going to get? Gets knocked out by Arman, gets knocked out by Charles, gets dropped bad by Moicano. It was looking like we were on the way to 3 straight first-round KO losses. Dogs it out. Gets it done against Moicano. And honestly, on the flip side of that, what BSD are we going to get? Gets a couple wins back in a row, but man, like there was that Moicano fight, the Poirier fight. It's just like, who's going to show up? I think BSD is making the proper improvements. He's still young in this game, and I think he gets it done here. I think he brings just like that violent nature to Dariush, and like where he outdogged Moicano. Moicano admitted to getting tired. I don't think BSD is going to let that happen. No,
there comes a certain point where you can't be the guy who only is tough, right? At this point,
it's tough.
The technique for Beneil, the level of skill against Moicano looked diminished, right? He still had that dog in him. As you said, he survived danger, a lot of danger in the beginning of that fight and was able to tough it out to win. Against BSD, when you're in danger like that, it's not the same as when you're in danger against Moicano. Like, BSD will close the door on that. BSD will finish that. And BSD is a guy who hit a little bit of a rough patch. Since then, though...
Against Moicano.
Ruthless. It's just like ruthless efficiency. Like,
the
just...
the hoofy was nuts.
Just domination.
The hoofy was like, I'm back.
Yeah, he looks back. He looks like he's figured out what he needs to figure out in terms of, I'm not only here to get into wars, although he loves the war.
I was going to say, bro, Dariush can crack. Like, this could end up being like a super exciting fight.
Dariush can crack, but like, as the years go on, that starts to fade. The timing, the speed, the ability to read that starts to fade.
You get the gray in the beard. Is this a...
Well, he's been gray since he was like 12.
Is this a Dariush Moicano type situation? No. BSD's still just 29. I thought it was going to be like a...
No.
BSD's close to his age.
BSD's on the younger side. And so...
BSD being 29 is kind of tripping me out. He's not even 30. He looks like he's fucking 38.
Yeah. He looks like he's been around. That is it.
Even though he's like a nice, like, happy guy.
Oh, he's always smiling. But in the
he's
portrait
smiling
photos,
or it's just...
Yeah, in the portrait photos, it's that. I expect BSD to actually, like, I'm surprised he's only like near 2-1 now?
What do we got right now? BSD minus 180.
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah.
I think this is BSD's fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. Let's go quickly to a couple on the prelims. The featured prelim of the night. Doesn't get the main card slot, but he gets the featured prelim. Bo Nickel taking on Rodolfo Vieira, trying to bounce back after his loss to Rainier de Ritter in Des Moines, which we were at back in May. Just got the fight brought to him, the knees crushing, ended up finishing him. He's taken a ton of flack since. I think he's ready to bounce back. Gets a grappler this time in Rodolfo Vieira. I kind of feel like the grappling is probably just going to equal out. They'll end up striking, and I'll favor Bo Nickel.
I don't.
Oh, wow. Rodolfo Vieira. Oh,
no.
You don't
I don't think the grappling will equal out.
He's just going to say, fuck the striking. I'm taking this dude down.
I think it could... respectfully to Rodolfo Vieira,
yeah,
if Bo will control where this fight goes and he will finish it in either spot.
I mean, of course, he dominates in the wrafling, but like, does he want to take it to the ground with Vieira?
Yes.
Okay.
And if he's in there, he's gonna hurt him pretty bad.
Yeah, I also think after the RDR fight, I think he knows that. Let's get this one to the mat.
He's gonna be a lot smarter with that.
Let's get it to the mat.
He will have probably an advantage in the striking. Just from the lack of damage that he's taken throughout his career,
yeah,
and Rodolfo has taken, his biggest advantage is going to be on the mat. If he takes Adolfo down, look, bottom game BJJ is very difficult in 2025 MMA. Like, it is just difficult. These wrestlers have gotten so fucking good at sitting in guard or finding a way to side control and just staying safe. Adolfo is, as far as like decorated pure BJJ practitioners goes, this guy is cream of the crop. This guy is one of the best of all time when it comes to that sport. But in MMA, we've seen him submitted by Fluffy Hernandez, right? Like, it is not the same game. It's just not the same game. If Bo's able to get on top, I think it's going to be bad for Rodolfo Vieira. I expect it might happen. And so I think this is a really nice bounce back matchup for Bo, and I think he's going to cruise.
He needs it. I agree. I think he gets it done. We will see how it plays out on Saturday night. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. This is a banger. This
Such a
is an
banger.
absolute banger. I completely blacked out on the Kopylov Costa fight. I barely even remember that thing happening. I was like, oh yeah, I guess they did fight to a decision, and Costa got back in the win column. 6 of Kopylov's last 8 have not gone the distance. 7 of RoboCop's last 8 have not gone the distance. These are 2 dudes who, if they get in a kickboxing match, I think someone is going to get put out.
Yeah, and it could be either one, but I'm leaning RoboCop. I tend to favor him in these types of things because he's just shown such a propensity to be able to take the damage. And he almost like kind of surprisingly knocks people out after taking that damage. It's one of those like, holy shit, I can't believe he reversed that. I'm a fan, and I think RoboCop's gonna have a slight edge here.
Not only takes the damage, but it almost feels like he enjoys the damage a little bit.
A little bit. It gets him going to the point that now he's like, oh, I can finish this fight now.
Was knocked out by Jared Kennedy or was knocked out by Bruno Ferreira, so I wouldn't put it past Roman Kopylov.
For sure.
It's going to be fantastic, man. These last 7, must-see television. Must-see television. Let's keep it rolling along. One more fight before we go to break. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez, rematch of their 2019 split decision in Invicta. Tracy was the one that got her hand raised there. Now Aaron Blanchfield is the minus 235 favorite, but obviously that was Aaron Blanchfield's 4th professional fight. Tracy Cortez's 6th professional fight. Very different fighters at this point in their career. It feels like this is the fight that's like guaranteed to go to a decision. Both grappling heavy styles, and if they do stay on the feet, not a ton of power. Both durable women. I just don't see either of them getting in a finish. In terms of a winner, Blanchfield, the improvements she's made since the 2019 fight are massive. I'll side with her.
I side with Blanchfield because I think she's going to be able to determine where it takes place, right? I think Tracy is a very good, aggressive wrestler, but I do think she's going to have trouble getting Blanchfield down or getting Blanchfield to stay down and keeping her there. Whereas with Blanchfield, she doesn't necessarily need to take Tracy down, but if she does, she has opportunities for submissions and she's going to be able to kind of control that. So I think her being able to dictate whether it stays on the feet or goes to the mat, I think is going to be the advantage there. But you're right. Like, it is similar styles coming back at each other.
I can see it being like a greasy split.
Yeah.
I could also see it going like the Rose fight, but Rose had 5 rounds, the Rose-Tracy fight. Rose had 5 rounds in that one, and it was kind of like as the fight went on, she was able to start getting takedowns. She knocked her down at one point. It was sort of just like the amount of time spent in the octagon, Rose just proved to be better. Over the 3 rounds, man, I could see it just being nasty close.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those that it's like maybe not a lot's going to happen and not a lot to score because they're going to be so good at neutralizing each other.
Yeah. All right. Those are the first 8. We'll break down the rest of the card after a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We will be back in just a moment.
I saw a photo of you online. This is insanity, man. What is going on? What percentage of body fat do you have on here?
I think 6-7 probably.
6-7?
So I was in camp for 6 months, and staying skinny that long really messes up your organs. It's not healthy for you. You see how lean and cut I am there, right? And I just was in camp too long.
Did you have any pizza afterwards to celebrate?
Oh, of course.
I don't know if you watched the show in a chair with a seatbelt, but if you have one, I'd go ahead and fasten it. Whew, man. Brian Kelly never understood the assignment at LSU. He never understood what the L stood for, and it turns out the L's ended up just standing for losses, but the L on that chest right there stands for Louisiana. Brian Kelly had no interest in Louisiana. He had interest in 2 letters. One of them's B, the other one's K.
But I don't mind them coming in because I don't really see it as competition. I'm a serious promoter. I'm a promoter who's gonna promote and develop world champions from the get-go, from the start. I'm gonna identify prospects, and I'm gonna build them just like the way I built Canelo, just the way I built Ryan Garcia, just the way I'm building all my champions now. It's step by step.
Is this 2016, 2017 team the best you ever played on?
The best the NBA has ever seen.
You feel that way?
The greatest team the NBA has ever seen. No question about it. There was nothing nobody could do to beat that team. If you thought you was gonna put your best defender on Kevin, good luck, we got Stat. No question the best team the NBA has ever seen, and obviously the best team I played on.
All right, let's keep it rolling along on this UFC 322. Just a few more fights to get into, and the next up is a big one here at Uncrowned Studios. Malcolm Wellmaker taking on Cody Haddon. We love our Aussies. We love the Australians out there. Much love to the Australians. We'll be supporting the Australian in the main event. At least I will. But this is a Malcolm Wellmaker program. This is a Malcolm Wellmaker household. This is a Malcolm Wellmaker family. Okay, we support the machine around here, the true machine at 135.
Easy.
And that's Mr. Malcolm Wellmaker. Not much to break down. I'm thinking right hook, 4 straight, a la Walter Walker, heel hook, 4 straight.
The toughest test of Malcolm's career.
Easily.
By a mile.
Biggest stage as well.
But a guy who seems prepared for the moment, right? Like he has met the challenge on every level, and you can't teach what he has, right? That devastating power, that athleticism, that ability to kind of find that hook it's the Alex Pereira thing, right? It's that thing where it's just like he knows how to get to his spot and he knows how to knock people unconscious. Malcolm has proven that so far in his run. We'll see if he can do that again. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this one gets extended a little bit, but I do expect that he will be successful.
The one thing that does concern me is that when he talked to Helwani on Tuesday, he talked about how in every fight where he's gotten taken down, he's been able to get to the fight back to where he wants it to go and be able to strike with the guy. I am curious to see what happens if he isn't able to do that, if he isn't able to get up, if he isn't able to change the game plan from what his opponent is trying to implement on him. And we'll see if that happens on Saturday night.
Every round starts on the feet, my friend.
Every round starts on the feet, and I'm going to favor Malcolm Wellmaker if it stays standing. It's going to be a fantastic fight, though, because if Cody Haddon's able to pull it off, like he kind of snatches a little popularity off of Wellmaker. I feel like Wellmaker's got a nice flow going to him. I feel like he's easy to root for. People are on board with him. Cody Haddon can stop that train on Saturday, though.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It definitely, that momentum is felt. What's crazy about it is like Malcolm at 31 is this like uber prospect. He's the guy that everybody's like, man, Malcolm. I kind of felt similarly about Adrian Yanez for a bit, where it was like, he's the guy with the hands, that crispy boxing. We love him, and everybody's trying to push him. He hit a little bit of a rough patch, and we saw what happened from there. Cody is 27. So if you get a win over Malcolm, and all of a sudden you take some of that shine and you're able to capitalize on that, he's a guy that you could quickly pivot to getting behind.
The Malcolm, like, he even has like a way that he speaks and acts that it feels like he's younger than he is.
100%.
Andy in the back was just like, man, he's just so Gen Z. I was like, nah, he's my exact age. we graduated high school the exact
What are
same
you?
year.
You're
millennial?
Millennial?
Yeah.
I think I'm
young millennial.
Am I a millennial?
I'm seeing millennials getting shit on online.
Who's to check?
I'm checking, Frank. I'm to check.
Getting shit on these days.
Yeah, born between 81 and 96, so I'm also a millennial.
All right, it is time to break down the Action Bronson main event, which by default becomes the GC main event.
Oh, I love it.
For the week. Gerald Meerschaert, GM3, taking on Kyle Daukaus. This is the one. Circle this one. There it is. GM3, Kyle Daukaus.
We're doing a lot of hand today.
Yeah. Cranking.
It's a little confusing.
Cranking, huh?
And doing a lot of hand.
Cranking what?
What's wrong with both of you?
Action Bronson main event. GM3 not on a great run right now, man.
No.
3 straight losses. Finished in 2 of them. 12-12 overall in the UFC now.
37-20?
It's a lot of fights, man.
Fucking hell, GM3.
It's a lot of fights. Would it be crazy for me to say that I think he needs this win to potentially keep his job? Or do you think he's just one of those guys that just hangs around?
I would keep him forever.
Yeah.
Why get rid of a guy like that?
Yeah.
He's happy to show up. He's happy to be either side of the thing, right? It's either young guy that needs the rub and he can get over on GM3 if he gets a win, or he can be like the veteran guy who they're putting him in against another veteran, but he has a little bit more name value and you could build like I wouldn't let him go. If he wants to keep fighting, he's the type of guy that I'd keep around forever. So no, I mean, he's beyond wins or losses at this point. When you're 37-20, it's not a win or loss
25th
game.
UFC fight.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like a Brad Tavares territory. Have they fought before?
Yes, they have. Two fights ago for him. Mikhail Olashchuk and Brad Tavares were his last two.
Brad Tavares is the striking GM3.
Yeah, for sure. The high volume striking GM3.
Dawkins, cut back in 2022, goes over to CFFC, is able to get the title over there, a couple title defenses, comes back against Michel Pereira as an underdog, finishes him in the first round, snags a 50K bonus, and now he's a minus 500 to get his second win in the UFC this year. I don't know if I love that at minus 500 for a guy that gets a lot of submissions against the dude in GM3 that's very hard to submit.
I do think Kyle will be the superior grappler, but the submission that GM3 might be able to throw up is always at
round
play.
3 GM3 is definitely live, but
you have to get to round 3 though.
Yeah, minus 500 is
no minus 500 is nuts. Minus 500 is nuts.
It's a hefty price to pay. That's a hefty price to pay. I'll side with Dawkins, but not that confidently.
I'm in the same boat. I think Dawkins is going to control this fight, but that is an absurd line. That's a Hamdi line where it's like, why? Why do we have to have that line?
Hamdi looked great in that fight.
No, he didn't.
Good enough to get cut.
Yeah, exactly. No, he really didn't. He looked on the level of Chris Barnett, which is not what you want from, like, what was he, 600? Minus 600 or something?
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
Barnett's ass is out. It's just a whole mess of a thing. Chepe Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. The second rematch on our UFC 322 card. We had Aaron Blanchfield and we had Tracy Cortez this time. Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. They fought at Victory FC 60, where I believe he won a split decision, just like Tracy Cortez won a split decision over Aaron Blanchfield. Chepe Mariscal, though.
Yeah.
8-fight win streak.
Yep.
5-0 in the UFC. And I was looking at his losses today outside the UFC. Joe Anderson Brito made it to the UFC. Steve Garcia made it to the UFC as a top 10 featherweight. Sean Soriano made it to the UFC, didn't have success, 0-5. Bryce Mitchell made it to the UFC, ranked featherweight. Gregor Gillespie made it to the UFC, went 7-1. Like,
ranked lightweight for sure.
He's nice with it. Like, even his losses outside the UFC are to a high level of competition. 5-0 in the UFC. Now he gets a rematch against Pat Sabatini. Action said it, man. We're siding with Machine Gun.
I do lean toward him in this fight. Sabatini is extremely good, though.
Oh, very good.
In the grappling realm, like
Nasty
this is
grappling.
one of the nastiest guys that we've got. And so Chepe is going to have to keep himself safe. But on the feet, man, I do think Chepe is going to be able to find his spots there. So I'm leaning toward Chepe. It just feels like he has so much momentum right now. You got to get the weight in order, right? You got to make weight, and then I think it's going to be great.
Philly zone. You could do a little Pat Sabatini, Sean Brady parlay. You're a Philly guy.
This is a really fun fight, though.
Yeah.
This is one I'm looking forward to a lot.
Angela Hill will be taking on Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein, a massive favorite.
Not surprising. Stylistically, this feels like Klein can take it where she wants to go, and it'll be in her realm. Angela Hill is the GM3, right? It's like she has fought every single person in this division. She's 18 and 15. I don't know how many of those in the UFC. Like
33 professional fights, 28 of them in the UFC.
Yeah, there you go.
The other 4 in Invicta.
She has been in the UFC for her entire career based on that. But stylistically, yeah, it feels like Fatima Klein can kind of find this on the mat, take it where she needs it to be, and then win the fight. So I side toward Klein.
The one that
also 25 versus 40, like that is a massive age difference.
Crazy, yeah. I favor Fatima Klein as well. The one that was not in Invicta or UFC was the U.S. Freedom Fighter Championship. This might have been a little foreshadowing. Broadcast on GFL.TV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They were the GFL before the GFL?
I think the GFL before the GFL. Main event in that one.
Can I get the music one time? Frankie?
Wow, you got it. You took it off the board.
You got rid of that?
You don't think they're coming back in 2026, Frankie?
He's gone.
Wow.
He doesn't even want to talk to us.
Thank you for absolutely
Thanks, Frank.
nothing. Main event on that one, Lonnie Price III, KO victory over David Overby.
It's so good.
So good.
It's just so good.
All time. Shout out to AI for writing that one. By Sanger Susurkayev taking on 2-fight UFC vet Eric Makhachev, Khamzat's boy, back after the Dana White Contender Series onto UFC 319. Gets 2 wins. Now he's got a full camp to get ready for MSG against the guy in Eric Makhachev that I'm not sure is on the same level as him. I think Susurkayev rolls.
Yeah, I don't know much about Makhachev. I'm thinking this is a Susurkayev.
Splitting over Cody Brundage last fight.
I still don't know much about Makhachev. That's
2 UFC fights and you don't know much about him. I think that says it.
That's
right.
This feels like a showcase for our boy.
I think it says that you're a casual, that you haven't been taping.
For sure.
Makhachev. And then lastly, the curtain jerker, no longer Machine Gun Mariscal. It is now Slava Claus versus Mateus Camilo. Camilo was supposed to fight a few weeks ago on UFC 321. He now gets a replacement fight on 322 against Slava Claus.
Was Slava Claus also booked? Why did they add this? I'm still not clear.
I have no idea. To give us a 14th fight, he was not already booked.
Okay, so that's weird. I don't know why they added this, but okay. I'm into it.
Shout out to him. We appreciate it. Always enjoy a nice Slava Claus fight. 8-6-1. Feels like he needs this one.
And I don't think he'll get it.
All right, that is UFC 322. Do we have... Yeah, look at that. God, look at that main card. JDM Islam. Chevy versus Zhang. Brady versus Morales. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Praches. And Dariush versus BSD. Do we have Oven's tweet from last week? I can pull it up right here. The statistics around this card.
Bo Nickel's pale, huh?
Yeah, as a pale man myself, I respect it. Here it is. Our guy Oven. Dana tried to steal the graphic. We go with the OG. 21 fighters coming off of wins. 14 are on win streaks. 9 are on 4+ fight win streaks. 4 are 4-1 in their last 5. 5 are 9-1 in their last 10. 3 undefeated fighters. 6 are unbeaten in the UFC. The quality is truly off the charts. 322 is a banger, as the kids say.
Yeah. I'm extremely excited about it.
I can't wait for it. All right, let's rip bets and Parlay Pals. Will the Parlay Pals ever win again? I'm not sure. Is it this week? I hope so. Frankie, why don't you kick us off? Then we'll go Rick. Then we'll go me. Pizzi in with his pick. I believe it's Kyle Dawkins. Biggest favorite on the card. Thanks for that one, Pizzi. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. This is for Bo. He's going to get it done.
Oh, we're going with Bo Nickel.
Yes, sir.
I could have sworn you wouldn't stop talking about Fatima Klein. I thought you were taking Fatima Klein.
Yeah, and then I shifted. Klein is the quote, though.
She's the quote, huh?
Oh, you heard it here first from Frank, Mysterious Frank. Fatima Klein is the quote.
But Bo will get it done.
Okay. All right. So we're off Fatima Klein. All right.
Yeah. Who's next?
Hopefully the graphics department can keep up with that one. Yeah, you go ahead.
Nah, listen.
Fatima Klein, the quote. Heard it here first. Appreciate you. I'll take Sean Brady. I'll back my boy.
Wait, I thought it was
I'll
me.
Back my boy.
All right,
you go
good.
ahead. Yeah, I'll take Sean Brady. I'll back my boy.
Should I take Fatima Klein?
Yeah, you could.
I'm gonna take Islam Makhachev. I'll put it all out there.
All right.
I'm going Islam.
So no Fatima Klein, despite her being the quote. We're now going Bo Nickel. That gets to plus 333, which I think if we win, it puts us back in the green. We keep doing this. We keep losing and then being like, if we win, it gets us back in the green by taking longer and longer odds.
It's the bettor who has the strategy of if I lose a bet, I double my next bet, and then I just
That's
profit.
us. That's us. It feels good, man. It feels good. Hopefully this is the one because we're getting to a point where we're going to need like a plus 400 to get us back in the green. All right, let's go through my bets real quick. I've got a few of them, and we start with Donnie Giacomo. All right, I love it. We're going to start from the top and go back. Main event, Jack Della Maddalena. This is just blind faith. This is just supporting my boy, JDM. We've been there since the Petey Rodriguez days. We've been there since the eternal MMA days. We saw him come all the way to championship fruition. Now we see him retain against one of the best fighters in the world, Islam Makhachev. Kind of looks like Dong Giacomo.
Dong Giacomo.
Dong Yakumo. All right, next up. Zhang Weili, my prediction, holds firm and fast. Beat Tatiana Suarez. Move up to 125. Beat Valentina Shevchenko. Female Fighter of the Year. Double champion. Zhang Weili gets it done as a dog.
It's looking good for you.
We keep rolling along. Sean Brady. I back my boy. I don't know what's going to happen, but I back my boy. He's too afraid to get on the bike. I'm not too afraid to support him.
On the mic.
In his pursuit of greatness. On the microphone. Here we go. Balls on the table. Nuts on the table. Sean Brady. We keep going. BSD, I'm with you. I think this is a favorable matchup for him. I think he brings the fight to Beneil Dariush and he gets him out there. I mean, this one. Action Bronson predicted first round finish. Chepe Mariscal, machine gun. As a dog. Goes 2-0 against Philly's own Pat Sabatini. Next up, I already told you, this is a Malcolm Wellmaker household. We don't speak ill of Malcolm Wellmaker around these parts.
Who would dare?
Georgia Southern, Augusta, Georgia ties. Malcolm Wellmaker gets it done. A couple parlays, I believe. There we go. A little violence parlay for you by Sanger. Susurkayev doesn't go the distance against Eric McConaughey. BSD Dariush doesn't go the distance. Roman Robocop doesn't go the distance. That pays 128. And then lastly, a by Sanger Susurkayev Bo Nickel parlay minus 155. And those are the bets for UFC 322.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. Open Elliott was on the MSG card last year. Crazy what a year can do. All right, we go to our pound for pound this week. And in honor of this card, Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush, Sean Brady, GM3, Bo Nickel,
Adolfo
Vieira, I mean, who else? Blanchfield, Sabatini,
Klein,
Guote,
the Guote herself,
Fatima Klein. You got grapplers on this thing, stacked top to bottom with elite level grapplers. So in honor of that, your quick pick 5, pound for pound, best MMA grapplers.
Love it.
Frankie, what's the order?
The order is, give me a second.
Oh, okay. You want me to think of the order myself? You want me to riff?
Literally stopped recording, so just give me a second.
Okay. We're having an issue with the recording.
But I'll be the first one.
Oh, okay.
Then we will go to, Connor.
Okay.
And then we'll have Rick.
That sounds good to me, man.
Be the caboose.
If you need to deal with something, we can
It's
take
done.
it.
It's dealt
You sure?
with.
You sure? Come on, man. Break the fourth wall. If you need to deal with it, we can shoot. We can shoot here, man.
Actually, can you go first? No, I'm joking. No,
okay.
No. Coming in at number 5 is the human backpack herself, Mackenzie Dern.
Huh.
Coming in at number 4.
Has she been called that before?
HBP, Mackenzie Dern.
Is Ryan Hall. Don't ask me to repeat it.
Okay, don't repeat it, man.
That's a fucking good one.
Number 3 is the number 3 pound for pound.
Oh, I love this.
Kron Gracie.
What even are you fucking saying right now?
And then my number 2.
I don't know the explanation,
I wanted
but the
to
list
be
is
my
solid.
number 1, but I had to make a change because of the heart. But number 2 is Dylan Dennis.
Holy shit.
Holy
This is a
shit.
Fucking insane.
And then my number
list.
1 that trumped Dylan Dennis
Wow.
is Ben Askren.
Wow.
Yo, this list is kind of wild, but also like respectable.
It's not kind of wild. It's fucking insane. Also, the way you teed up Kron Gracie by saying number 3 on my list and number 3 in the pound for pound rankings. Kron Gracie, what pound for pound rankings are those? Can I see those? That's great stuff.
It just threw me off because it got thrown up on the screen before I could think.
Oh, all right.
Those are some very
You all
good
right back there,
grapplers.
Frank? You need a minute?
Yeah, man.
You need a minute? You good?
No, you're good.
All right, you want me to go now?
Go ahead.
This is so off the fucking rail.
Yeah, we don't share anyone on our list. Number 5, mine's a little bit modern. I might get a little bit of flack here, get called a casual, but it is what it is. I don't know ball like that. Number 5, we just saw him grapple his way to a dominant title victory, 22 minutes of control time. We've seen what he can do with takedowns. We can see what he does with the chokes once he gets him down there, breaking people's jaws. It's Khamzat Chimaev at number 5. He's down at number 5 because I think the book is still yet to be written. This is one that by the time his career is over, you could be like, he might be the best grappler in MMA. If he's able to have a long title reign based off the grappling, finishing people, I think Khamzat Chimaev is one of the best to ever do it. Number 4. can't make a best grapplers list without having this guy on it, and Frankie just did it. But it's Mr. DuBronx. It's Charles Oliveira, most submissions in UFC history on his 11-fight run, where he went all the way up to the title, beating guys like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. 7 wins came by way of submission. Mr. Charles Oliveira. Number 3, he actually fights this weekend, and he subbed the man who sits at number 4. I understand it was after dropping him, but he subbed him either way. No fears of going to the ground with him. One of the most elite grapplers in the game. Takedowns, arsenal of chokes. You got the Darce, arm triangle, Kimuras, arm bars, rear nakeds. It's Mr. Islam Makhachev. Has made a lengthy title run, is now making a run at GOAT status, and it all comes from the base of elite level grappling. We roll to number 2. Now second most takedowns ever because of one man, Merab Dvalishvili. Still has the most controlled time in UFC history, and I think that speaks volumes to what he was able to do with those takedowns. One of the greatest fighters of all time, George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Second most title fight wins, by the way. Second most takedowns, most controlled time ever in UFC history. It's GSP. And then number 1, a man who never lost, a man who you knew the game plan when he entered the octagon, but you just couldn't stop it, is Mr. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
And that's my list.
It's a great list.
Pound for pound best MMA grappler.
We share some.
There were a couple that were tough to leave off. A Royce Gracie, a Daniel Cormier.
Oh, there's a lot.
A Damian Maia.
There's a long list of honorable mentions for this.
Oh, yeah.
But we share some, but we also divert.
I like it.
Number 5.
James Tahuno?
Not James Tahuno.
Fuck, how'd you know?
Great striker. Great striker. Not an elite grappler in the, at least in this this level, this stratosphere.
Who's to check?
No, there's tape. We can see it.
Frankie's back, baby.
Number 5. This person could be number 1 on some people's list. The only reason they are not higher on this list is because they spent so much time also beating the shit out of people on the feet. And that's one Jonathan Jones. John Jones is one of the greatest grapplers that this game's ever seen and could be the best. Like, if he just wanted to only grapple, there is a chance that he could have been the best ever in that realm too. He was just beating the shit out of people on the feet, beating shit out of people on the ground. It was a variety of things. That's the only reason he's not higher on my list, because when it comes to the grappling realm, he's out there taking down Daniel Cormier. He's out there thwarting some of the best grapplers of all time. He's also striking with some of the best strikers. Like, he is an anomaly. And so he deserves a spot on this list, even though he is not primarily known for grappling in the way that some of these others are. His grappling is as good as it absolutely gets. Number 4, Kazushi Sakuraba. I have brought him up before, the Gracie Hunter. His unique combination of techniques, his catch wrestling style, made for some of the most exciting fights back in the time of Pride, and he was in addition to being one of the most successful grapplers, he was one of the most fun grapplers, and really kind of changed the game for a lot of people in a way that the traditional BJJ style had been the gold standard for so long. He introduced something and crafted his own style that I believe has inspired many to this day. So Sakuraba, absolute legend, very unique in this list. Because I think these other guys are a little more traditional, but he was one of one. Number 3, you had him on your list. I have him on mine, George St. Pierre. It would not be fair to leave George St. Pierre off this list. Not my favorite grappler to watch. Spent a lot of time in top control. Wasn't necessarily the ice cold finisher type guy, but the stats speak for themselves. When George St. Pierre controlled a fight, he absolutely dominated it. He controlled the fight from start to finish. It was not fun being underneath George St. Pierre. When you can completely neutralize a guy as good as BJ Penn and just make him look like he's never been on the mat in his entire life, that is a level of grappling that deserves respect. George St. Pierre, elite grappler. Number 2, you had him a little lower. I have him a little higher. That's Charles Oliveira. Apex Predator. Apex Predator. The record for submissions in the UFC. But the variety, the ability for him to play top game, play bottom game, adapt the jiu-jitsu game to the MMA game, he's a marvel. The fact that he's still doing it in this way at this age, he's incredible to me. I have a lot of reverence and respect for Charles Oliveira, one of the best grapplers we've seen in MMA, especially when it comes to the finishing, right? It's one thing to be a positional control grappler, but Charles Oliveira ends fights. Charles Oliveira, when he gets it to the mat, is somebody that can finish it, and he deserves a ton of respect. I love the grappling game of Charles Oliveira.
I think I know where you're going to go with one, which means...
Number 1, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Wow. All three of our lists, the only Gracie that made it was Crone.
Yeah, in MMA, it wouldn't be... The only one that, in my opinion, could have actually made it would have been Hickson. If you say, like, Hickson... because of what he did in the era before MMA became MMA, truly became MMA, you'd probably point to him. Hoist certainly for his tournament wins. But if you put Hoist in an MMA match with Charles Oliveira, like, it is not going to go very well for him. Again, eras, times, whatever it is.
Opinions.
It's
all up to you.
The Gracie family, the lineage, BJJ belongs there. Khabib, I mean... the combination of the Sambo, the wrestling, the BJJ, the dominance, the control, as you said, everybody knows what he wants to do when he steps into that cage, and you just do not have a chance in hell to stop him. He is the best grappler I've ever seen.
Shout out. That was a fun little list to make, going over the best grapplers. Maybe one day we do strikers, but the amount of high-level grapplers on this card, we felt like it was worth it. Also, we've sort of exhausted the New York ones. We did Burroughs and we got a lot of hate for it.
Okay, let me...
Next time is New York Bridges.
I'm down.
There's a lot of good bridges here. 21?
Malcolm Bridges.
21 bridges. Now we're talking.
You
gonna say something?
Yeah, let me...
what are you thinking?
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, rip them.
Damian Maia, you mentioned.
Of course.
Damian Maia, to me, it became... I was going to pick Damian Maia or Charles Oliveira. Yep. I went Charles. Fabricio Verdum. Fabricio Verdum is an absolute savage, like, on the mat. Submission wins over some of the best guys. He deserves a nod here. Big Nog, who Fabricio has a win over. Fedor in his prime, he was a absolute
heavyweight
monster.
DC,
BJ Penn.
BJ
Penn, when it hit the mat, was nasty. It's why I rate George so highly, because he is able to deal with that. Demetrius Johnson, Merab. I think Merab deserves a shout, a nod. The man with the most takedowns in UFC history. And I also had Khamzat, but you had him on your list. So
a lot of good grapplers throughout the history, man. Respect to all of them. The Gracies, shout out. All right, that is the pound for pound list. Best MMA grapplers. Frankie, we got any voicemails, brother?
Wouldn't be a boys in the back without him.
Sure wouldn't.
Ahoy, hoy.
What's up, boys? Hayden, North Carolina. Shout out.
What's up? Shout out to North Carolina.
Why other boxers aren't trying to line up to fight Jake Paul? Same reason Ngannou's not trying to. He knows what he's worth. He's trying to fight champions, and he's doing the honorable thing. He's not, just like fighting anybody. He made that clear when he left the UFC. He didn't want to just fight anybody. All that he'd be doing if he fought Jake Paul would be being what everybody says he is, that he only fights for money. No, bro fights for honor and for glory. Just fighting Jake Paul, a guy who's basically half his size. I mean, not really, but kind of. It doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't look good. Canelo's never really been interested either. I mean, I think Canelo's interested in the money, but he's not seriously interested either, and that's why he fights Crawford instead. He fights real guys. The type of people that are trying to accept Jake Paul fights are the Gervonta Davies of the world. Let's be real, not cool, not good people. And in the world of shit where it just encourages you to sell out, and Ngannou's not doing that. And I applaud him for that. I still think I agree with DeBella's take that he had earlier on Jake Paul. He's not bad for boxing, at all, no. But if you want to fight to show your skill and show your accomplishments and do it for honor, you're not going to do that. You're not going to take the fight. Love the show, guys. John Jones isn't the GOAT. Only 2 of his opponents went positive after fighting him in a title fight, and they were Belfort, who went on TRT after, and Rampage, who went to Bellator to crush cans. Anderson Silva has 7 people go positive after fighting him. Yeah, John Jones not the GOAT.
All right. GOAT conversation be damned. It's just whoever you think it is out of the big 4 or 5. The Francis Ngannou honor thing, I actually kind of disagree. I don't think it's about honor. I think it's about him thinking he's literally just better than Jake Paul, and he would be lowering himself down to Jake Paul's level. I think everyone has a price tag. I think if they came correct enough with the big enough price tag, he would fight him. I think it was the same thing with Anthony Joshua. I think when it first got offered out, Jake Paul's been banging this drum for a while. The money wasn't big enough. Now they're desperate to find a fight. That money probably greatly improved for Anthony Joshua to the point where he might be willing to accept it if it does come to fruition. I don't think it's an honor thing. It was Hanan Ferreira an honor thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I do understand. If Francis Ngannou is saying like I will just not box Jake Paul, I can respect that. Like,
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm okay with you taking that stance.
Hey, yo, boys in the back. It's Sean Brady calling in.
Let's go. We
Great
got
to
a
be on the
Brady
show
call.
last week.
Fight week.
Really perturbed this morning, fellas.
Yeah, let's hear it, Sean.
Was listening, catching up on the show. Little boys in the back action.
Appreciate you, bro.
And The Simpsons. Guys, have you seen it? Have you frickin' seen The Simpsons? Fox. Groundkeeper Willie, comic book store guy? Dude, what the fuck is going on?
Tell us,
This
Sean.
this show has been on for generations. It's been on for lifetimes.
Who knew
and
the
you
Sean
guys
Brady
are
was
Who's the
struggling.
check?
Who's Smithers? Who is Smithers? Dude, I can't even concentrate on Morales right now, let alone the bike race. I don't know what you guys expect from me. I don't know how you expect me to keep listening with this lack of Simpsons knowledge. So if you guys could maybe bone up, I mean, we got a sequel movie coming out. Are you guys going to be like, which one's
Do we
Homer?
actually?
Which one's Homer? Which one's Homer?
Which one is Homer?
So why don't you guys brush up before you go back on air, before you fire up that on-air light? Frank, before I go, dude, Commodore 64, my man, add me on there, dude.
The Sid chip?
I'm perplexed. It's like you talk snack and my sidekick here and whatever. All right. Once again, guys, watch The Simpsons, Fox, Matt Groening, James L. Brooks, etc. Morales, whatever that's happening, I forget. It's going down. It's going down. And Connor.
Yeah, man.
We know you fucked over your landlord.
Hey, Sean, I'll see you on the Simpsons BBS on my old Commodore 64.
Shout out. That was a fucking great call. Thanks, Sean. Best of luck this Saturday, man. Really appreciate you.
Him wanting to say, which one's Homer? Just so he could get the Philly accent out again.
Homer. It's great. That was great. Appreciate you, Sean.
What's up,
Thanks,
boys?
Sean.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Jacob calling in from Denver, Colorado.
Oh, what's up, Jake?
All right, so I got a hypothetical question for everyone on the team who wants to answer, okay?
We'll all answer.
Who, me?
It's, you and your significant other, right? You guys haven't been on a date in like 6 months, right? You've just been struggling with the kids, work's been a lot, right? But like you guys finally have the chance to go out.
Yeah.
But your babysitter cancels last minute, okay? So
Damn.
you go on, like whatever babysitting app you use, and then you look, and there are 3 options available, okay? And I want to know who you're taking.
Okay.
1, we got pre-spiritual awakening, Conor McGregor.
Okay.
2, UFC Hall of Fame night, John Jones. 3,
famously went to jail that night,
Joshua Fabia.
Hey.
Let me know who y'all are picking. Thanks.
I'm probably just skipping the date night. I'm probably just skipping that. We'll just hold out. I'm all right. We made it 6 months. We can make it 7.
If I have to choose, I'm gonna let Connor cook.
Pre-spiritual awakening.
Yeah, look, kids will have a good time.
He's already dead.
Frankie, who you taking, man?
That's dark.
I would take Connor.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Connor.
Sketch.
What up, boys? It's Steve from Denver.
What's up, Steve?
Listen, Rick, I can't take it anymore, buddy.
Uh-oh.
This man just said Gable Stevenson has better odds of beating Cyril Gahn and Tom Aspinall than Alex Pereira. Put this man down now.
Wow.
Hi, Frank.
I don't know if I even said that, But I don't think that's even that
I
crazy.
think you said
He'd be a favorite against those.
he'd be a favorite against those guys. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Alex Pereira is not going to have great odds at heavyweight. The question was who's going to be the favorite for Gable, and it was I think you said anything after Tom he'll be the favorite.
Yeah.
I think mine was closer to like a Spivak or something like that.
Yeah, man. You want to talk about MMA, like we did a list of MMA grapplers. When that guy hits MMA, when he hits the UFC level, that guy's going to be up there.
We're going to see.
Yo, what's up, boys? It's Manny from Philly calling in. This one goes out to Rick. As we kind of approach the end of the pay-per-view era, can we just take a moment and reflect on what that used to mean back in the day? It meant so much more than what it feels like now, you know. Back then, when GSP was fighting DJ Penn, when Brock was fighting, when all those Silva fights were happening, felt like something special. Can we pass that along to the new fighters?
It was special. This weekend feels like that. So I leave you with that. I would tune in this weekend if you've lapsed as a fan. This one feels pretty good. Islam Makhachev. What do we say? Number 2 versus number 8 pound for pound, and number 1 versus number 2 on the women's side. Like,
not bad.
This is pretty damn good.
Not bad.
What's going on, boys? It's Peter.
What's up,
calling
Pete?
here from Southeast Missouri, originally from the 516. Shout out Long Island. Let's go. Oh, fuck. Let's fucking go, Islanders. Hold on, I'll call back.
This happens more often than you would think.
This made it through. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate
Usually when
that.
I'm checking the voicemails, there are 3 or 4 from the same
Okay.
phone number.
No, I appreciate that, Pete.
Good job, Pete.
You tried? Yeah.
What's going on, boys? It's your boy Peter here, calling from
this the
Southeast
same one?
Missouri, originally from the 516. Shout out Long Island. Let's fucking go, Islanders.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Speaking of Long Island,
Yeah, speaking of.
and in honor of 2 fighters fighting from the incredible UFC Long Island that happened back a few years ago, Ricky Simone and Matt Schnell. Connor, I got a quick story about Ricky Simone. It was about the fight before Ricky Simone versus Jack Shore, UFC Long Island. Me and my boy are sitting down in Nassau Coliseum, and
UBS Arena.
fuck.
Damn, bro. He just hung up?
I think so.
All right, take 3 on this. I keep fucking it up. It's your boy Peter.
Yeah, what's up,
calling
Pete?
from Southeast Missouri.
Shout out to the
Originally
Islanders.
From the 516.
Yeah, 516.
Shout out Long Island.
Yeah.
Let's go Islanders, baby.
Let's go Islanders, yeah, man.
In honor of UFC Las Vegas happening this weekend.
Oh, this is
Ricky
last
Simone,
week.
Matt
Yeah,
Schnell.
Ricky Simone.
I like to go back to a story from UFC Long Island a couple
Okay.
of years ago when Ricky Simone and Jack Shore was the next fight that was about to happen. Me and my boy get up. We say, you know what? Let's go see if we can find GC around here. We know he's somewhere. So we get up. We walk around. We walk about 2 sections, around the concession stand. And, of course, we see GC. We see him walking. He's about to go up the steps, go sit in his seat. And I'm just like, hey, GC, what's going on? He turns around, big smile. He's so happy to see us. He, appreciates the love.
Appreciate
We
the
dap
love.
him up. We
What's
get a
up, bro?
picture,
Yeah,
and
let's
then
get a
we
pic.
go, hey, Jack Shore time, baby.
Yes,
It's time
sir.
to cash the fuck out.
Had a custom
and he
one-of-one
says,
Jack Shore
yes, sir.
shirt
We
on.
both go on our way. Me and my boy go over to the bar. We order a drink. Jack Shore, Ricky Simone kicks off right there.
Yeah,
We
how'd it
look
go?
at the bartender. We say, hey, that white guy, Jack Shore, right there, the one in, I think, the white shorts he had, we got big money on him to win.
Big money.
And then
He's going to
we
roll.
sat there. No one else at the bar, just me, my boy, and the bartender. We just sat there and watched Jack Shore get fucking wrecked by Ricky Simone. And, wound up losing big money. But you know what? We got the CGC, and we got to all lose together in spirit, so fuck yeah.
Fuck
All right. Peace out, boys. Love you all. Keep doing what you're
Wow.
doing.
Wow.
Love you
Your boy
too, bro.
Dee.
out.
We know, Pete. 516 Islanders, Southwest Missouri. Fucking hell. Yeah, that is a fact. I had a custom 1-of-1 Jack Shore shirt. I wonder if when they were at the bar, they could hear when Ricky Simone literally picked up Jack Shore and body slammed him, and it echoed throughout the arena. That's when I looked at my boys. I was like, "Yeah, guys, we're probably fucked on this bet." When he sunned him, just picked him all the way up and just. Woo! And it just like they have the microphones under the octagon and it just reverberated through the whole arena. I was like, yeah, guys, I think we're probably cooked on this one.
I wonder if the bartender started like roasting them.
I was like, I feel bad for those dudes I just dapped up. And then I had to wear the Jack Shore shirt the rest of the day. It's like, oh, that's the guy that got brutally fucked up. I'm pretty sure he got finished in like the second round. Like love Jack Shore, love him. But yeah, he got walloped.
What a story by Petey, though.
Yeah, arm triangled in the second round.
Shut up,
Petey. It was tough. It was tough.
What's up, boys?
What's up,
this
man?
is Steve from Denver.
Steve,
I don't really have a question. It's more of a response to Jacob from Denver who called in last week. Yeah. Stop texting my wife, you piece of shit.
Fuck.
You're sad because you've got a broken heart. Where? Well, I'm dealing with a broken home, motherfucker. My wife and I put in so much fucking work since then. We started going to couples therapy.
This is the guy that asked about breakup advice.
And you gotta fuck it all up by texting her while we're at PF Chang's for her birthday. I'm gonna say this one last time. Stay the fuck away from my wife. Also, Frank, please accept my Switch 2 friend request. Thank you.
Yo, if that was one take, that was unbelievable. I think it was it? Can we confirm that? That was incredible.
You know, if there's multiple takes, we air them all.
Wow, that was crazy.
What a call.
That was what a turn of events. Shout out.
I do hope that other guy is just feeling better.
Jacob from Denver, hope you're all right, man.
But do stop texting.
Yeah,
Don't text his
stop
wife,
texting
though.
wife, bro. Come on, man.
Steve, not the guy to mess with.
What's good? It's your boy Bodkins, baby. Boys, I'm here to ask the very hard question today. No, not was Randy Brown out. No, not who's winning the title fight.
Okay.
But when do you put up the Christmas tree?
Great question,
That's the hard
Bodkins.
question that needs to be answered.
Fuck yeah.
Y'all have a great Thursday. Have a blessed weekend. Hopefully all the bets hit. Shout out to everybody. Bodkins out, baby.
Shout out to you, Bodkins. That energy on the call is it's contagious. I love it. It gets me hyped up. The question is, when do you put up the Christmas tree? I am putting up I'm shifting from fall Halloween decorations. The Halloween have kind of gone away, but I still got fall decorations up. Shifting to the Christmas next weekend.
So we skip over Thanksgiving. There's not like a decorating for that.
It's like fall, but like I would like to have the Christmas up as soon as Thanksgiving's over, and so next weekend is the weekend I'm going to do it. I could wait till like the weekend after Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving's kind of late this year. It's on like the 27th, 29th, something like that. 2 weeks from today, so the 27th. You got to have the decorations up for as long as you can, and then I'm a tree down like first week of January.
How big of a tree?
It's small. It's 6 feet. I'm in an apartment. What do you want me to do, Frank?
Is it a
You want me to go buy a
limitation
fucking
from
12-footer, a real 12-footer out here and put it in my house?
Limitation from the roommate? It was like, can only be this tall.
No.
Is this a carryover from family? Like when you were at the house?
Now, my family is strictly December 1st.
Oh, interesting.
Going to the tree, yeah. It's kind of funny mentioning this. I was actually with my family. They were visiting up here last weekend, and we were watching a football game or whatever, and a Christmas commercial came on, and they're all like, it's too early for the Christmas commercial.
Okay, so you're bucking the family's like stances on this, really.
My strong feeling on that is like, get over it. It happens every single year. There's no point in talking about it. It's going to happen every year. It's been happening every year since our childhood. This isn't something that happened last year.
Everyone stop chatting shit.
Darren, thank you.
Thanks, Darren.
This hasn't been happening. This shouldn't just start happening in 2022. They've been doing it every year. It's a commercial business at this point, Christmas. They're going to start on November 1st. Just accept it. It's just going to happen. It's also like up here in New York, everyone's always like, man, it's a pretty mild October. I've lived here for like 7 years now, and it never gets cold in October. It's always November. It's like November is when it really starts hitting the cold. I'm just saying, okay? I'm done ranting.
I don't have as specific a timing.
Yeah.
When the kids start bothering me,
then
I do it.
The tree adds a nice coziness.
No, not yet. They actually haven't yet because they're still eating Halloween candy. They don't give a shit. Like they're
whispering to each other, like, let's not upset Daddy.
What do you
know
say,
what
Frankie?
Say it again.
What do you say, Frankie?
To be honest,
when you put your tree up,
I don't. That's my wife's job.
Oh, wow.
Not like I've assigned her that job. But that's
Sounded like
it's
it.
important to her. She wants to do it. Great. And then for the rest of the season, I just get to hear about how the cat's chewing on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Yeah. Andy, Dan, you guys got any specific days?
call him Dandy.
Black Friday.
Black Friday's a great day.
Okay, so
Great
right
day.
Yeah,
after
you know, we're
Thanksgiving.
tired from eating the day before. We're not doing anything. Put the Christmas tree up.
Throw some football on in the background. Tree goes up.
December 1st.
Decorations. I like that. I like that out of you, Dan. I like that out of you.
You're earlier than everybody else. You're a little
This year
ahead.
specifically, just because, I got plans. Okay, I got plans. So we'll knock out the tree on the week before.
Yeah.
I'll have a little UFC Qatar to get in the season in the background, and I'll be hanging up decorations.
Got it.
Qatar?
Shout out Bakken.
Shout out to Pockets. Great question.
Hey, boys, back. This is Bree calling from Massachusetts.
Bree?
Truthfully, I'll admit, I'm only a casual MMA fan, but I will
Okay.
give it to you. Give it to you that your show is super entertaining.
Wow, Bree.
Especially love the pound for pound rankings.
Wow.
Reno's ball.
I'm actually calling in today for my
Shout out to
husband
Bree.
Shane.
Okay, yeah.
He is quite possibly your biggest fan,
Shane.
and I'm not sure he's ever missed an episode of the show.
Wow. Hey.
He's also
Shane.
substantially better at giving gifts than I am. So,
Okay.
hoping you guys can help me out today by giving him both a happy birthday and a happy anniversary shout out to
Oh.
make me look like the best
Wow,
wife in
double.
the world.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
That's all we needed to do? I
That's
thought
it.
we were going to have to give advice on gifts. Shane, baby!
Shane.
Thanks for always watching, man. We appreciate you. Thank you to your wife for calling in. Happy birthday, brother. I hope it's a great one. Happy anniversary as well, man. What a day. What a celebration. What a crummy, no, I'm just kidding. I was going to say, what a crummy gift. You get two schmucks here telling you happy birthday. Hope it's a great day, Shane. Thanks for always watching, man.
Thanks for the support, Shane. We love you. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, and make it count. Play this after. Like this is gonna be the shit ending to the night. Hope you got
This
you
is,
and your
this
wife.
is the next morning. You're hungover at
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
You're having a cup of coffee. She's like, oh, yeah, by the way, check it out. Got you a shout out.
I did.
Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Bree. Happy B-Day.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you for doing
anniversary.
that, Bree.
Frankie, quick on the draw there.
Yeah.
Shoom, just like that. That was nice. Happy birthday, Shane. Oh,
Happy anniversary, Shane and Bree.
appreciate you. All right, Frank, cut the music, man. Let's move on. Just kidding. Happy B-Day, Shane. No, but seriously, cut it, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Stinky Link here from Pittsburgh.
What's up,
Just
Stinky
calling
Link?
because, of course, I've heard Ariel's stories, a few hundred times, and one that always comes to mind is the nudist community in Pittsburgh. And lo and behold, my girlfriend was just kind of scrolling on Facebook this past weekend, and she sees just a random Facebook post, and it goes, nude bowling, Pittsburgh. And I'm like, what the hell? And it happens to be the same community,
Oh,
of
sick.
course, that that Ariel did his documentary on that
Oh, you have
never came
volleyball?
out. Sad face. Anyways,
Okay.
so of course I'm like, let's go. I'm not much of a nudist. My girlfriend isn't really either, but for about the past 3, 4, 5 years, Ariel has been talking
Pause it
so
there for a
highly
second,
of this
Frank.
community that he kind of sold me on it.
Frank. pause.
Unfortunately, the girlfriend
Frank.
was not
What
down.
does we're
so
not
we did
much of a nu I'm not much of a nudist mean.
Yeah.
Can you be like a half
I think
halfway
you can
in, halfway
the sense
out?
that
nudist?
there's no chance I'm going in and bowling with my balls out. That ain't happening. So the fact that he's willing to do it makes him
so
not
it's
much
like
of a nudist.
I'm nude some of the time, but I'm not always nude.
No. I think I'm open to nudity, but I'm not a regular attender of
Okay, fair enough.
nudist
All right.
colonies.
All right, let's keep it going.
Sorry about that.
go, but I just wanted to call and ask you guys if you would go.
No.
Not like as a group or anything. Of course, that might be a little
What's the
weird,
fun
but
in that?
just individually, would you go in my shoes? Given that you've heard so many good things about this community and whatnot, I was genuinely down to try it. Ariel kind of sold me on it, but
Okay.
she wasn't really down, and
Yeah,
no
I can
regrets.
imagine that.
It might have been a little awkward.
Yeah.
Anyways, thought I'd call in. Hope this wasn't too long. Bye.
Wasn't too long. One thing I will say about Helwani selling it on you, Helwani was wearing jeans and a plaid shirt while he was there, so he was not nude. He was just inspired by the freedom that those people carried. Secondly, I'm not gonna lie. You got to really be just like a free spirit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't love walking around butt ass naked and on top of that my girlfriend is also butt-ass naked in front of a bunch of people. I don't love the idea of that. So to answer all this, I'm just going to hit the Brunswick. I'm just going to hit the Brunswick lanes and just do some clothed bowling.
Yeah, my thing is I'm not like anti it. I'm not like I don't want anybody to see me or anybody to, but I don't think it would enhance anything for me. Like
no, it
wouldn't like add anything to me that I couldn't be like I'm just going to do the clothed version. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it would be freeing. I'm not like I don't feel like if I were to do that, it would be any freer for me. I would just be like, all right, I'm going to go down the block and go to the bowling alley.
Yeah. I think I would just laugh too much if I was there.
It would be weird the first time, right?
Yeah. And imagine if you run into someone you know. Oh, Jim from accounting. What's up, man?
How's it hanging? Oh.
Jim.
Long time no see.
Somebody's getting cracked.
Jim.
I will never take your parking spot again.
It's the gif of the kid where he's like, hey.
The ginger kid?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jim. What are you doing here? Jim. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out on that.
What is up, boys in the back? K-Sums from...
What's up?
Sorry, what's up?
What's going on?
Who is this guy? Play that again?
Yeah, all right.
Saskatchewan. Shout out to Rough Riders. Probably going to lose the Ariels. Montreal Alouettes.
Holy
but
shit.
I just wanted to call in and say, as we watching the Halloween episode there and listening to Connor talk about the zips, half zips, spoke me down as a fellow 33-year-old. That shit had me rolling, boys. Especially as Connor's dressed as Gandalf hitting the frickin' Sherlock from time to time. Oh, what a good time that was. Anyways, keep it up. I listen every week while I'm driving the semi, so.
You're the fucking man.
That's all.
Okay.
Legend.
Go fucking Rough Riders. I hope they win on Saturday just for you. What did he say that I was talking about? The zip on the zip?
Something about zips?
He mentioned the pipe, so I don't know what I was talking about, but the fact that he calls it a Sherlock is hilarious because back in the day in high school, me and my boys had a pipe like that, and we called it the Gandalf.
Oh, there you go.
That's a shout out. What did he say?
Did you smoke tobacco out of that pipe?
Yes.
So weird.
Nice buzz, you know.
Yo. Calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh.
Long time, first time. You know the deal. This
Oh.
question's for Rick.
Ricky.
I'm a lifelong challenge fan. Seen every season. I know it all. Quick question. If you had to say who, with no formal MMA training or no boxing training or anything like that so far, would be the best challenger to make that crossover to MMA?
Why would a mole
I have one. I think Corey Wharton would be pretty good.
Oh.
Very athletic, young, strong, powerful guy. And then for my two throwbacks, I'm going Abram Boise, if you know, you know, and Derek Kaczynski back in the day. Thanks, boys. Love ya. Bye.
Love you too, man.
Very, very strong selections there. A lot of respect. You didn't just pull like the easy ones. You really like thought about this. I respect it a great deal. Abram would be an absolute animal. The answer is easy for me. By the way, I actually think Corey Wharton boxed another challenge person on like one of these like influencer fight nights, by the way. So I actually think he did fight. The answer is Darrell. Darrell trains boxing. Darrell would beat the brakes off quite a few. And then the answer after that, it's got to be CT. Like CT's a caged beast. And
shout out to CT.
If you ever stepped in the
minimal challenge knowledge.
If you ever stepped in the cage with somebody, it'd be a nightmare for them. Frank, yes, to answer your question on Slack.
Howdy, y'all. Big B here. First time, long time.
What's up,
Question this week is Dakota Ditcheva the next WMMA star? I thought it would be Stamp Fairtex. Multiple belts in multiple different sports. She doesn't seem to have pool outside of Asia. Thanks for the content, fellas. I and tens of thousands of others enjoy it week in and week out. Shout out the GOAT, Frankie. I don't care what you've done with your mama. If John Jones can commit vehicular battery on a pregnant woman and be the GOAT, my man can also have a drunken accident. Jesus. Shout out the Lone Star State. Fuck Queens. Big B. Out.
Hey, what the fuck?
Wow.
He speaks for all of us.
Yeah, all of us.
Probably. Like, is there another name that's like a prospect? I don't feel like.
I'm not gonna lie. He totally lost me after the John.
You said
Jones.
basically is Dakota Ditcheva the next big women's star?
I think so. Yeah, the whole John Jones vehicular manslaughter.
Comparing Frank kissing his mom's ass
to beating a pregnant lady or whatever.
Hitting a pregnant lady with his car.
Pregnant lady, kissing your mom's ass.
Listen, we all make mistakes. John Jones got charged with vehicular whatever, and Frank kissed his mom's ass.
What up, boys?
What's up? Brett from Nebraska. Nailed it.
Shout out Colin Klein.
Colin Klein.
And today, I actually just want to tell you real quick about the time that my high school football coach decided to bring in one Mark Montoya to lead practices once a week.
All right.
The real thing that happened. Okay, so over summer, we would go Monday through Friday, 7 to 11.
Ultimately.
Typical, high school football stuff. Hour of lifting, hour of speed training, and then 2 hours on the field. Which is crazy, actually. Looking back, I did all that work knowing we weren't going to win very many games. But so you do all this, and we had, I don't remember what he called it, like Fun Fridays or something. And his version of Fun Friday was to bring in Mark Montoya, who for 8 weeks over the summer
ultimately
came in on Friday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And walked us through like martial arts stuff. Very important to note, he did not in any way dumb down anything that he said or adjust for his audience. And so we had like a world-class UFC coach, MMA coach, yelling at a bunch of 15 to 18-year-olds who could not possibly care any less about what he was saying. And he was like running it like military style, like we were supposed to clap at certain times. And our boy just did not care at all. I was trying to tell him, like, hey guys, this would have been actually pre-Conor Habib. So it was like the year before that, probably 2017.
Okay.
So none of my buddies were into MMA except for me and a couple of the wrestlers. And we were trying to tell him, hey guys, like this is a huge opportunity. And he would just like talk to him and they'd be like, damn, that's crazy. And then ignore him. But even funnier,
Mark Montoya just yelling at kids.
The coach that came with him was a young Ian Heinisch, who I'm pretty sure was like terms of parole or community service of some kind.
Why was your fucking high school football team?
I don't know that for sure, but he very clearly did not want to be there or care.
I wouldn't either.
And had some wildly inappropriate conversations with some of the 15 and 16-year-olds about his activities that landed him in, you're supposed to hit the federal prison. It's fine. They landed him in prison.
Federal fucking
and
prison.
So instead of that being inspirational, he kind of made it sound like it was really sick. Like he was like, yeah, like I had all these girls and did all these drugs. That was a bad decision. Like, I don't know, man. It sounds pretty.
Oh, did it get cut off?
It was long enough anyway. It was long enough. Thanks for that one, Brett from Nebraska. Glad to have you back, brother. Glad you're feeling better.
Ian Heinisch talking to kids.
Is ridiculous. Mark Montoya screaming like it's this serious thing and it's a bunch of 15-year-olds is also crazy.
Incredible. Who knew Brett was
What's up, boys? Connor from Canada.
What's up, Connor?
A couple questions, actually non-MMA related, but it's related to your interest because we share interests.
Sick.
First, Connor.
Okay.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Shout out.
There was a season, well, there's 3 seasons, but I feel like there was like an in-between second and third season where they went to like a Western air temple on the side of the mountain. We watched the show recently, and I don't remember seeing that, but I vividly remember watching those scenes as a kid. I don't know what it is, but I love that show. Shout out.
Shout out.
Again, if you could have one of those powers, what type of bending would you be? Earth, fire, air, or water? Personally, earthbender. I think it'd be pretty sweet. Block most of those other elements. I don't know. Good defensive type element, maybe. Now, Eric, I'm getting into Magic. I've played a lot of standard decks. Like I played the Lord of the Rings one, Assassin's Creed one. I've played a lot of like the entry level decks. I'm starting to get into Commander, and I need help. I don't know where to start. Fuck, I'm not gonna start by just building my own deck right off the bat. I'm probably gonna get one of those pre-con, I think they're called, Commander sets directly from Magic. Now, should I do that? any recommendations on which ones I should get? Should I just get a random deck off eBay to get like started, or where should I land on getting myself into Commander? Because I got some friends that want me to start getting involved because they know that I play Standard, but I don't know. Commander's a whole different ball game. I know how to play. It's just don't know where to start. So if you could point me in the right direction, that'd be pretty cool. Frank, add me on Cool Math Games. Anyways,
Hey,
shout out to you
Cool
boys.
Math Games. I haven't heard Cool Math Games in a minute. They definitely go to the Air Temple because I think that's where Aang finds out about his lineage and everything like that. It's very critical to the storyline. Probably Firebender. Firebender. Probably getting a sick tattoo on my head too to equal out the baldness. Give me a little bit of that, Firebender aura. But yeah, just like ruthless aggression, as they say over in WWE.
We don't have to go too far down this, but what is airbending and what is fire? Like, what are they?
It's literally what it describes. Like, you have control of that element of the world. So like Earth can like lift up the Earth and like push giant rocks. Fire, you literally create fire with your hands. Water, air, and he's the last airbender.
You are like a summoner of these things.
Correct.
Tap it into the mana pool from the land.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, I think I'm going fire with like a crazy tat on.
Are they all like tatted with like fire stuff basically?
Some of them are, but there's this one who, God, it's been years since I've watched the show. His main antagonist, tattoo across his face. That's like who is coming after Aang.
Got it.
He's like royalty, prince. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Shout out to Avatar: The Last Airbender.
James Tahuna?
Actually, it might be James Tahuna.
As far as Magic goes and Commander goes, hop on Arena and just play around with some decks digitally, and then buy those associated cards once you kind of find your way with those decks. I love digital. I used to play paper Magic. I know Frank still does some tabletop games and card games and things like that. I don't do them anymore, but I would mess around with the digital so there's no stakes. Then you figure out what cards you want to buy, and then I'd go buy those.
To chime in, I would also consider just going to a Friday night.
That's true.
And then doing like a draft, a blind draft.
Blind rank. Blind rank the ways to start into Magic. It's also a Zuko.
Here,
Zuko's
very
fire.
quickly. I'm obsessed with Who's to Check. Top 3 clips ever.
So good.
I'm out.
Who's to check?
Is it top 3?
I mean, it's the flavor of the.
No, you play the fucking drop after I say that. Come on, Frank.
Geez.
I actually agree with
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, this is his production style. It's
Yes.
just, fuck you. Why did you miss it?
Piece of shit. Fuck you.
I mean, you do that a lot.
I will say, I agree with Frankie. I think it's the flavor of the month. There's some that last the eternity of time. I think Who's to Check has potential to do that. But I mean, there's a lot.
Who's to check?
There's a lot that cycle through that kind of fall off. They fall off.
Who's to check if they fall off?
Boys in the back. Well, first time hearing that answer machine you guys got was pretty hilarious. But anyway, Quentin from SoCal, shout out.
I can't even remember.
Connor, I've been trying to get into running. I need a good pair of running shoes. And this one's for Frank. You got Black Ops 7 releasing tonight. You playing it, or are you going to be playing Pigeon Simulator? Peace.
Running shoes, easy question. Adi Zero Evo SLs. They look sick. They're comfortable. Just knocked out a 10K in like 44 minutes with them. Colorways are sick. Shout out.
No Call of Duty for me. Actually, jamming with Luminous Arise just came out a little bit earlier this week. I was surprised because I don't know if you guys have played it. The puzzle games that started on like the PSP. Maybe use the PS2. Anyway, they did a really good job. Like it's a mental trip, so you should check it out. That's all the voicemails.
That's it. Thank you very much to everyone that called in. A couple great ones in there. It almost looks like the yellow cloud back there. It looks like there's like a
toxic cloud.
Yeah, toxic radiation spill. We got any super chats, Frankie?
Damn right we do.
Damn right. Super chats.
All right, the first one
All right,
is On Air Jordan. Just confirming.
Hey!
I'm not a ghost.
What's up, On Air Jordan? Is that actually him?
Yeah.
Or is it Dan?
Or is it the ghost of him?
Can we put the On Air Jordan one back up real quick? So the other day, you notice next to On Air Jordan, he has a little symbol that's a wrench, right?
Mhm.
And that means he's a moderator.
Okay.
The other day when Ariel was like, "Oh, and there's a Elijah Dream with a number 2 and a crown. What's the number 2 for?" My man doesn't even know what a wrench looks like.
Oh, he thought that was a 2?
Yeah. It took me a moment to
That feels
realize.
close to impossible. How could that possibly be a 2?
No. You got this wrong.
Who could
There
ever
was a
see that
2
as a
with a
2?
crown.
Uh-huh.
No, yeah, there's actually a number 2. I'm looking at it right now. Elijah Dream.
That's a crescent wrench.
Oh, he's the number 2 like commoner. He has the most experience points.
Yeah.
Obstruct says, "Boys, UFC 322 huge
See, there's
fight card."
Frank, there's a number 1 with a crown. The other one had a 2.
Who's to check?
Huge fight card, yet no buzz. Why? This came at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm starting to feel the buzz, bro.
Me too.
I think we just spent a long time talking about why there should be buzz, and if you don't feel the buzz, the buzz comes down to the personalities that are fighting, man. You have all-time fighters that don't have that much personality. They don't talk shit. They're respectful warriors. That's pretty much it.
I think the concept of the buzz building around cards is not going to happen in the same way anymore. There's just too much stuff vying for attention. The schedule is too aggressive. The idea of like I've been waiting for this one for so long and it's creeping up and now it's here. I just don't think it happens like that anymore. People's consumption cycles don't go that way.
There also just has to be genuine beef. JDM and Islam are not going to beef.
Yeah.
Valentina and Zhang are not going to beef. Sean Brady and Michael Morales are not going to beef. The list goes on and on. Leon gives next to nothing. Prach's doing the phone background. That's not really like crazy heat. Bob Nickel and Adolfo Vieira. There just is no like real heat with any of these guys. And none of them are like superstar level to like carry the card. Islam is huge.
Islam's the biggest name,
but like Islam will go massive if he fights like an Ilya.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for all the content. Looking forward to the fight companion for this week's banger.
Yes, thank you, Danny Rivera. Join us right here, 9:45 Eastern. We're just a block away from MSG. You'll be able to hear the thunder. When the thunder from down under. Jack Della Maddalena gets his hand raised and
Does
still
he go by that?
on Saturday night. He does now. Thunder down under. Thunder from down under. 7 words. Jack Della Thunder from down under Maddalena.
And then finally watched Weapons. Absolutely terrible.
Ooh,
what?
Bad take.
Oh, wait. I haven't seen Weapons. I thought he meant Prisoners. I can't speak. I haven't seen it.
Prisoners is
elite.
What a weird. Remember that guy asked me horror movies, but it was all like half of them were not horror.
All psychological thrillers.
Weapons is fantastic. That's bad taste by you.
Shout out.
Really bad taste.
Yep.
Sam Alvey versus
Yeah.
R. Despine.
Yeah, Robles to Spain for the Karate Combat Heavyweight title. Can't wait.
Slito, shut up.
Check out this poster.
There it is. Godzilla versus Kong.
Wait, what the fuck? Do they actually have Godzilla versus Kong in the back?
Is that AI?
It's definitely AI. Sam Alvey representing Godzilla.
Put that back for 1 second.
Is Spain representing Kong?
That's legit, like Godzilla and Kong. Like they're not getting sued to shit for this.
What version of Godzilla though?
Who does Robles to Spain look like? With the blonde hair, Phil Hawes?
Phil Hawes
Clearly
is the one who
King
used
Kong.
to do the.
All right. That's enough of that.
Next, GC was a little too hyped to see Jim. Islam by sub round 5 at the buzzer.
Yeah. Jim! What are you doing here, man? I didn't know you came to nudist colonies.
True. You didn't like how.
We'll see you in HR on Monday. Jim.
What is today? That's what I want to know. Like,
Yeah.
what has this show been?
Today's the 13th.
No, listen. There's the this.
I don't know.
There's the this.
I don't know.
there's
It all went off
Tops,
the rails.
bottoms, the edging.
Yeah,
edging,
edging.
the
What else did you say? You said something.
Getting cracked. What?
No, not get cracked. What did you say?
Like, I'm not looking to edge him.
Gargle them up or something. Gobble them up.
Gobble them up.
Yeah.
That was actually the last super chat.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on today. It came off the Bronson thing. We had fucking Adriano Martins fucking at the bar. It's been a good one though. UFC 322 this weekend.
Adriano Martins, 8 whiskeys deep, is a character that you should probably bring back every once in a while.
Yeah. Edging. I'm imagining Dana White saying that in his reigning voice. The cranking. Paul Muhammad flashed Sean Brady. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Either way, that's it for us. UFC 322 preview in the books. Voicemails, everything, all the like. Go watch the Action Bronson Fight Feast Extravaganza. If you haven't seen it yet, it's already up on the channel. Bronson, Helwani, NYC 322 Fight Week. Go watch that. The Crack tomorrow, right after weigh-ins. They'll get you ready for 322, the final preparations. And then Saturday night, join us right here, 9:45 Eastern, for the 322 Uncrowned Watch-Along. They'll be fighting just up the road at MSG Stack. Top to bottom, main card. Don't miss it. Monday, we're back with the Helwani Show. Post-show, too. That's it for us. We're out of here.